And if I didn't know any better, I'd say that we're live.
Hello, Akbar. Welcome to Podcastistan. Yes, welcome back, loyal listeners, to your daily dose of Podcastistan. I have now declared this show to be part of the Podcastic Republic of Podcastistan.
We have a very, very good show for you today.
Very good show. Please to leave your goat by the door. We will not have any goats inside the podcasting mosque. Oh no, listen down and hear from your emir and imam, myself and Ardy. Allah Akbar, Allah.
Any digital reproduction of this broadcast is strictly prohibited.
Oh yes, we have issued fatwa against unauthorized reproduction of this podcast, and we have all converted to Podcastistan.
The only authorized reproduction is when we rape.
We have decided to follow the example of Oran McIntyre, not his real name, peace be upon him, and we will be leading you all into glorious. No, wait, that's Russian.
No, but the reason why you say it's not his real name is because his real name is so precious that we can never even utter it.
That's right. His name cannot even be pronounced. right? Oron is basically like the Mahdi, right? He is the hidden imam of Podcastistan. Wait, is that you or is that? Oh my god, my fucking thing started like playing. Why?
Yeah,
Why is it doing that?
Now you sound better now. You're good. Oh, if that is his real name. Can you believe?
No name. No, I had like sound go off on my machine. Okay, right. Okay,
you good?
Triggered. Yes, the hidden imam, Oran McIntyre. Peace be upon him.
It is
sorry about
it's not going well. It is not going well for them.
I don't. They're doing victory laps, mate. Right?
That's how you know it's not going well.
They're doing victory donuts. They're like, Podcastistan is destroyed. Allah. Of course, we will not. We will not bend to the Lindsayite entity.
I know, but he might as well go. You know, things look like they're going real bad for Bigfoot right now.
The unprovoked aggression against us podcasting people. It is an affront, an outrage against the holy Oron. Name be upon him, but not really.
Dude,
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, mate.
No, it's fine. It's getting to a point where this is who these people are going to be. Like I'm going to be 60 at some point, talking to a younger fella, being like, yeah, they've been like this for 20 years now, saying James Lindsay is right and saying something's about to happen. Like this is the rest of our lives with these people. They don't show any signs of changing. It would be really embarrassing. What do you think is more difficult to overcome? Being obsessed with getting the vax and wearing a mask during COVID and supporting the BLM riots, or like walking away from that, or walking away from being a Lindsayite? Which one do you think it's a more difficult transition?
That's a good question. That is a very, very good question, because at least, right, like with the vax, you can say it was over, right? Like COVID is over, right? Although I guess,
or the immense government pressure, like really coerced into it.
I guess the hard cutoff period is probably the next election, right? So what, 2028? Okay, because if the Democrats win, then it will enter into a new phase where Lindsay and all the other people will basically like blame everything wrong with America and losing the election.
The woke right is the
on the woke right, right?
And somehow that will mean he was right again, even though that's the first time it happened.
And if the Republicans win, and it's not sort of a kosher centrist candidate, right? I don't see how that's possible, to be perfectly frank. But let's say it's someone like Vance, then everything that goes wrong will then be blamed on the woke right influencing Vance, I presume. So if you think about it, they basically got it covered, right? No matter what happens, right? They can blame the woke right for basically anything.
Oh, you mean like with the vaccine, where somebody would get the vaccine, get horribly sick, get a vaccine injury, and go, "Whew, it would have been so much worse. COVID would have been so much worse if I didn't get the vaccine." While the rest of us we're sitting there going, "Okay, well, I've been fine for years now. That's never your vaccine injury is way worse than anything that happened to me with COVID." But yeah,
and then I presume the next move will be to say we got to put all these people in camps. Basically, I'll be like,
well,
we need to round up all the people from Podcastistan and put them in centrist Scottish common sense realism education camps.
Well, speaking of camps, we are going to elaborate on the camps today with hopefully friend of the channel, Vrillium. we do cover very similar things at apparently very similar times, as it would seem.
Isn't he live now? Mate, he's stealing our bread and butter. Oh my god, I can't.
Vrillium, we were here first, okay? I understand that and we're going to cover it. I understand you went to a moo camp, and now you want to, stream every day, soak it all in. I understand that, okay? But leave some for us to eat over here. He got 36,000 subscribers in a month on YouTube and 1.4 million views in a month on YouTube. Now,
see what? Look. This is the problem with competition. What we need to do is form some kind of a cartel, right? Where we sort of agree to share the market, right? And we can obviously force this with our incredibly overwhelming subscriber counts.
Me and you. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say it. So apparently he went to a summer camp. A mooish summer camp from the age of 12 to 15. We're going to cover that. He's a valuable resource. He's been around the moos. He grew up in New Jersey, right? And of course, here's what I don't want to do, okay? He's already getting mercilessly attacked, okay? He's growing quickly. It's one of those things where he looks like he appeared out of nowhere, okay? I don't care. What he's saying is true, and he does really good research. So I never understand this. It's like with Nick Fuentes, where it's okay, so is there this conspiracy for them to be very honest and descriptive about world mooery? I don't understand what the rub is exactly.
I don't
giving away their game, so it's what I don't understand.
I don't get it either. I see this a lot from, I guess, people who don't understand orthodoxy. He's like, oh my god, you used to be a degenerate before you converted. I mean, yes, so did many of the Orthodox saints. There's an Orthodox saint, Anna of Egypt. I think I'm getting this right. She was a hooker for 17 years.
Get it, girl.
And then tried to walk into a church, right, and couldn't get past the invisible Christ field, essentially, right? And this is the story. This was it. Last Sunday at church, the priest was telling you the story, right? He didn't use those exact words, obviously, right? But right, and then she was just overcome, right, and walked away into the desert. It was just fuck this noise, I don't want to take D for a living anymore. I'm gonna walk off into the desert, and she's a saint. So I mean, I don't know what. So you used to do bad things with your life. Well. Yeah, I mean, why? What cause is there to reform yourself and become a better person if you haven't done bad stuff, right? Hey, don't you know I was just born perfect and it never made a mistake in my life?
Well,
right?
no, not only that, but on one hand, we all realize we've been lied to, and we've been essentially brought up as feral experiments for moos. On one hand, we realize that, and then on the other hand, when somebody in their 30s or 40s realizes that we've been completely screwed over, then for some reason on the right wing, it's prudent to go, haha, but look at, I thought we all agreed that we were lied to, screwed over, fed degeneracy and goy slop. Yeah, and you partook in that, and now you don't. It's that's what I'm trying to talk about now, right? I'm trying to warn other younger generations to not do that, and that it's a work, and don't follow this hedonistic lifestyle because I did it and it led nowhere, and it was all lies. It's so annoying.
I mean, isn't like a big part of the right wing to basically say like how horrible and degenerate society has become, right? And like the horrible effect it's having on
but
like
none
young
of them
people
ever
and stuff.
none of them ever partook in it, okay? None of them ever partook in it.
Listen, you can partake as much as you like, as long as you don't criticize the moose, mate. Right?
And well, so I am seeing that, and this is essentially gonna be public knowledge at this point. So I'm seeing that Vrilliam's dad is a lot of money, which he does say in his video. Okay, good, and his dad has connections. Good. What, are you not going to utilize that? Yes, awesome, good, and it's working for him. Awesome, good. Yes, what I care about is the message of global mooery. That's what I care about. Okay. That's with all joking aside, okay? Like, good. You leverage any. What do you think the moos do, bro? Okay, yes, leverage absolutely anything you have, and carry it forward. Awesome, because I mean, he's putting himself through a degree of risk. He's talking about his own personal life about going to like a mooish summer camp. So like, I don't know, dude. I don't get like. First of all, I enjoy liking people. And second of all, it's like anyone who is going to be speaking about global mooery, me and you included, are fucking weird, okay? With weird pasts.
It's true. It's
yes,
true.
that's going to be all of us, okay? If you're going to criticize
true.
him, then you're going to criticize me when you find out any of the goofy shit that I've done too. It's good.
I mean, I think he sent me a Discord message or something that got clipped where Vrilliam was saying like his father gave him like a couple of months. He's like, if this
something
podcasting thing doesn't work out, you're going to have to get a real job. Well, congrats, man. It looks like you made it. So, I mean, that's pretty cool, dude. Respect, bro.
He also does have he has an Indiegogo campaign for a custom lighter that looks pretty fun as well. He's doing it, but he's doing his thing. I don't. Yeah, it says Allahu Akbar when you open it up. USB rechargeable. What is it called? Osama bin Laden or something like that. He's having fun. Dude's having fun. All right.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. I don't. He's people are already coming at him and whatnot, and it's like there's enough room for all of us, okay? And he also has like a perspective that only he has. He's a valuable asset, and even if he is an asset, I don't care. He's teaching me things that are true about the moos, and he's like very descriptive, and he's very succinct, and he shows you exactly what's going on with receipts. So, like, what more could you ask for?
And I'll tell you what, his Hebrew pronunciation is great.
He knows what he's talking about.
I've learned a thing or two. About how to pronounce the magical moon runes, which is always good.
Dude, he's like half Ardy, half fist. It's wild.
I don't know about that. I mean, right,
portion, quarter Ardy, quarter fist. He probably has retained a portion of his own personality in his body. You're right. I may have been overstepping my bounds there.
Oh, mate, look, often imitated.
Of course, we're gonna have crossover with the guy. He's joking around talking about the moose, and then
yeah.
I don't want to say we created that on YouTube, okay? But we did get it. We did get in on Goycoin rather early before it was bullish.
We did. Mate, my Goycoin wallet is looking fat, man. Look, I've been giving out those high interest loans, right, to the ghetto blacks and stuff with government backing. It's honestly, it's like awesome the way you like stake it. If the blacks like default on the loan, the government pays you anyway. So it's great, right? You just issue like as many loans as you want. It's Goycoin. Check it out. I mean, obviously, you're too late to get in on the ground floor.
Is that in the white papers?
Yeah.
It is.
It's the white paper. Yeah. It's butterykipper.com/whitepaper.
Seems like you really can't lose with that coin. Almost seems too good to be true. Everyone get it now. Everyone get it now.
The thing I've discovered, right, is just to be backed by the government, right? Because the taxpayers can't really go broke, and if they do, you just take all their shit. So it's sort of effectively like an infinite supply of money. So if you just want to be guaranteed that you're going to win every time, just get government backing. Pretty awesome.
I mean,
how you been anyway, man?
That's how currency goes. I'm doing well. I've been cranking out content. I think we streamed Friday. I streamed Saturday. I streamed Sunday, and I released a video yesterday. I'm streaming today. So we're getting close to full time. It feels like.
Yep, we are getting close to full time, man. The fellaverse is evolving again. Yeah, totally.
And I'll tell you what. Usually it's behind a hard R paywall, fellas, but We went brigading in front of the paywall on Sunday, okay?
I feel bad.
And we're not going to talk about it a lot. You can go and watch it. It's about Isaiah. You can go and watch that. It's a nice fat 4-hour stream. It's pretty legendary, pretty epic. And there will be some reoccurring themes of that popping up in today. So things are getting episodic, right? It's almost like a documentary, right? It's getting linear with how these are being released. But we're not going to talk about that today. Okay, fellas?
If
you know, you know.
It's pretty hilarious.
But speaking of Lindsay-ites,
shall we
first we'll check the supers.
Oh yes, let us check the supers.
Right. Eating it right.
Airboy for $20 got here early. Any way you could delay the stream? Of course, mate. For you.
Do you know how that started?
I have no idea.
I do. The fellas told me.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, it was just like a passing joke because they'll listen in the super secret server. Okay. Sometimes. It was just organically in passing as a joke, and now it's just gone completely out of control to the point where it was said, and this is the last time I'm going to mention it on Isaiah's stream when he was reading it out loud.
That was hilarious. Oh my god. Sawyer for $10. Thank you very much, man. Hey, I've rewatched the streams a few times, but can't find it. It was a definition of capitalism. Ring any bells? Praying for you all.
I do not understand what that is necessarily referencing.
Definition of capitalism was it the one where I was sort of contrasting it to communism, as in both systems where the moves wind up with all your stuff?
Well, yeah, I mean, we said a couple of times where capitalism, when you think about the disdain that they have for capitalism, it's just mooery. It's just global mooery where they don't care about anything else but themselves and their profit. It's like, yeah, they just took the identity of a moo and put it onto white people and called it capitalism, essentially.
Well, you wouldn't have capitalism without usury. I think this is the thing that I always find with capitalism. They don't understand that usury is the sort of crucial. Like they think capitalism is people buying and selling stuff. No. Capitalism cannot really exist without usury per se. Like that's the, from the religious point of view, that's the issue, not people buying and selling stuff. But
right.
Theodore for $10. Thank you very much, mate. I missed the last stream because I was sick. I watched the video on Ardy's channel later, but it's just not the same. Can you reenact it live for me? Of course, mate. Look, we'll get little hand puppets and shit. Right, it'll be great. I'll be like,
my community is out of control.
I'm Ardy. I'm pissed. Like, yeah,
you
feel like a little.
It's okay. I don't think anybody would be surprised to learn that you played with action figures until you were 32. Okay. I don't think anybody would be surprised.
They're not action figures. They're realistic models. Thank you very much. They're very collectible, right? Like, actually. Yeah. Like, oh, totally. Love my action figures. New GM for $2. Please restart the stream. Of course, mate.
Really direct now.
King Spectre for $5. Thank you, mate. Sorry, I had to rewatch that intro a few 5-ish times. Could you guys pause the stream while I catch up? Might also rewatch the intro again. Well, I'm glad you like the intro. That's an Ardy special. Although I'm not like, what genre is that sort of weird kind of rocky sort of 2000s-y stuff you made the intro out of? What genre even is that?
This is heavy pop punk. It could be also called easy core, opposing hardcore. Because it's in the major chord instead of the minor. It's a major key instead of a minor key. So we get easy core, not really hardcore pop punk, kind of heavy pop punk, essentially.
I think
like your Boys Night Out, your 4 Years Strong, very, very gay bands I used to listen to.
Yeah, I think I was checked out during that period of.
You were probably out having sex, and I wasn't.
Yeah, that's
probably very busy.
Lenny grabbed $5. I'm writing a white paper on converting shit coins to actual shit to use as fertilizer and crash your famine coin. Please pause the stream while I work. No, Lenny, no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Listen, hit me up, right? We'll form a cartel, right? And then we can control the supply of both shitcoin and famine coin in order to corner the market, right? And we'll have this like arrangement where we'll just move the price up and down and we'll both get rich forever. Huh? Come on, man. Right? Like, look. I'll give you the number of Moshe Feinberg. He can set you up, mate. Bill Clinton skin suit for €5. Hey fellas, I'm a bit late. Was getting a bigger cauldron. Since Fifth keeps talking, could you please restart?
Oh, thank you for reminding me of that.
Gonna need like a swimming pool size.
Cauldron. A mighty large cauldron.
JLM
for your eye of newt.
JLM Knight for 10 Canadian loonies. Hey Fitzy, like the conspiracy vid, even though you didn't go off on an interesting tangent this time. Listen, I can do tangents.
Why is he so backhanded? That's the second time he said that.
I can do tangents, right? I can tangentialize, right? We just thought that, like maybe the tangent was a bit. Look, JLM, I tell you what, I'll put in a tangent especially for you on the next one, right? How's that? You can't ask fairer than that. Thank you very much, mate.
Yeah. Fist, I really like the episode. You're kind of a pussy, but the episode's really good. It's so bad.
Hey man, in this industry, you got to take the compliments like where you can find them, bro. right? Beggars can't be choosers.
Oh, definitely.
Leningrad, yes, for $5. Yes, you have good chemistry with Clowntown. Fist was right again. Yeah, I do enjoy recording with Clowntown.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, we'll be recording the next one tomorrow night. It should be out on like Thursday. So
very nice.
Look out for that. Thank you. Total Blackout Painting GBP. Thank you, man.
Wait, aren't these last week?
Oh my god, these are from last week. I've been doing the wrong ones.
You porky little muffin.
I just looked at the time, right? And it said 11 p.m. and I was like, wait a second.
Okay, here we go. Now we're caught up. There we go. There they are. Oh wow.
Okay,
that's hilarious.
That was totally tarded. I apologize. Beef Sleazy for $2. No message. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Automaxing member for 6 months. Half a year as a fella. It only took 42 years, but I finally accomplished something great. Take that, Dad. Your dad is very proud of you, Automaxing.
Very nice.
Waffle member for 5 months. Waffly, 5 months wasted.
Yeah. Gluttons for punishment.
Bill Clinton skin suit for €5. Thanks, Fist, for accommodating Europeans with that intro. Thanks, right?
Very nice.
Hello, European ball. Matthew West became a member. Welcome. Waffle for $10. James' least favorite part of the day is the morning because it means he woke up. Wait, we need to do the cheer for you. Oh god, that's so embarrassing, man. Reading the wrong.
God. Stop dwelling on it. Act like it never happened. Stop bringing it up, you fucking rookie. What are you doing? It never happened. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Just pretend it never happened.
Hold on.
Wake up. Woke.
Thank you.
John Jackson for $20.
Oh yeah, bro.
Your title game is too strong. Oh, mate, I know, right? He's got to be restrained. He's gonna do himself a groin injury.
I sit there. I honestly just sit like staring at a wall, drooling for about 7 hours, and I go, "Oh shit, I gotta make something up." And then that energy right there, the fact that I have to make something, is where it comes from. It's the same way I used to do schoolwork. Okay, I rush at the last second, like, "Oh my god, what's it gonna be?"
David Gonzalez for $10.
Oh, thank you, Prav.
Thank you very much. Hey guys, I won't be able to catch the stream live today. Can you please complete the show like normal, then re-upload it later for me to watch on my own time?
Finally, something reasonable. Something I can accomplish.
We can totally do that, mate. We can totally do that. Why am I tired today? What's going on?
No.
Johnny Two Ducks.
Put your mask on. Put your mask back on. Everything's fine.
Johnny Two Ducks for $2. I
you.
donate more, but I need that Vrillium OnlyFans. he needs
that's competition. What are we gonna do?
Needs those Vrillium feet pics. I don't know, mate. Should we start an OnlyFans? Do you think we just just like feet pics and
he actually made a post on YouTube saying should he go live at 6 p.m., 7:30, or 8 p.m. And I told him to wait until we're done. So I think he's gonna listen to me. I think I have an in with him.
Nice. Kevin 11 for $2. Vrilliam's father is James Sexton. Apparently, apparently he's a hot shot. He's a hotshot divorce lawyer, and I'm pretty sure this is why Vrilliam was at Moo Camp. Quite frankly,
no. He says that his parents had money, and that's why he was sent to that camp. He says that in his video. So I don't want it to seem like that. Like I went and did research, and now I'm like saying things about him, right? So I'll let these things come out.
It's because his dad had money and was like a lawyer.
Yeah.
Right. Like, trust me, I know this. Like, yeah. Totally.
He's about to get, because he's been growing really quickly. He's about to get unbelievably dogpiled, and I don't want to participate in dogpiling him, but I will make fun of him this episode. So don't feel bad, everybody. Okay. I still will my own way. I'm actually going to prove that he is in fact gay, but I don't care that it's okay that he's gay. Okay. We're all going to have fun.
Theodore for $5. I got here late, but I rolled the stream back on a second screen. Can you try not to talk over your $5? What you need to do, Theodore, is stream the output of both streams to one of our streams, and then we can pause and interact. That would totally work. Jack B. Nimble for $2. I am no longer asking. Restart the stream. Oh, they're getting a bit militant, mate. Look,
we're being too nice. I'm the monarch. This is my fault. I got to start laying down the hammer.
Look, Jack. Right. This is how it rolls. Okay. If you record one of those like ISIS style videos, right, where you're in a mask, right, like in front of like a banner, holding an AK, demanding that we restart the stream, then maybe we'll restart the stream, right? But in anything less, I cannot to do. The Prophet will not allow it. Andrew's animatics for €2. I'm 15 minutes late. Can you rewind the space-time continuum? I wish.
That's going to be a high interest rate if you pull that one off.
Limiting Principle podcast for $2. My Goy beam in the opening. Yes.
That is correct, Patrick. And a link to Patrick's channel and that video is in the description, in fact.
Yeah, man.
I have an attribution to you in the description. If anyone wants to watch that, it's unbelievable. So now it's good that Patrick can start doing some video AI that may be very useful in the future.
Yeah, it's a very cool video, Patrick. I really like it.
Surfing the Goy beam? Come on, bro.
Goy beamers unite. New GM for $5. Wait, what the fuck? I did not send that first super chat from me. Yeah, I know.
Wow.
We travel through the space-time continuum.
You do what they want. You travel through time. They go, no, not that way. Do it this way. Travel through time this way. Bunch of moves, these guys.
They're never satisfied. I swear,
Never.
right? Thank you. Beef Sleazy for $5. $5. There you go.
Beef Sleazy's pretty ridiculous. I'm into it.
Thanks very much. Waffle for $10.
Oh, I'm proud.
You didn't restart the stream, but you restarted the super chats. You
that is a good point, and I have one thing to say to that.
Dang! Jujicam!
He's right. He's absolutely right. I can't even deny it. When I'm caught, I'm caught.
Theodore for $5. Thanks for restarting last week's stream, Fist. Also, like the stream, fellas. See, they got their wish, right? Through sheer power of autism. Right?
I know. We did. We try to abide by the commands of the community.
Rich 520 for $5. Ardy, what's the name of the BGM in your scripted vid? It's a banger. Yes, of course I listen to what you say. Thanks. What was a BGM? What is a BGM?
Background movie, background video,
background music.
Oh, background music. Oh, that's AI. I just decided to use AI music for the background now instead of, I used to use actual music, and then YouTube started doing a rev sharing because I'm using their music, which is fine. And then I started creating AI songs. So I'm like, oh, let me just do what did I put in? I think I put in video game show, or it was like game show. And it was like 8-bit game show or something like that. And so yeah, it doesn't exist. I could send it to you, I guess.
We'll have to release an album at some point, I guess.
Oh, what? Yeah, exactly. It would have been Logan Lansing releasing AI songs and charging it.
Yeah, but it'd just be like a lighthearted kind of like thing. Ardent party for 2 Canadian loonies.
Oh, there he be.
But remind viewers to check my Rumble and X. Indeed, do check out our mod with the our moistest mod, fondling the banhammer, on Rumble and X Ardent Plays.
Very
Check
nice.
it out. TFR NV for $5 came in late, cashing in on my stream restart.
Nice. He cashed in.
Aaron made discourse for $5. According to James, I'm a Zoroastrian Baptist Catholic mystic maxing because I said the prayer to St. Michael the Archangel. I'm having a great Lent. Listen, mate. You gotta be careful with that, right? Don't you know that St. Michael was in fact invented by the United Nations as like a way to subvert? I can't even fucking keep up with this bullshit anymore. Like something, right? Like,
you have to remember Aramaic discourse is not allowed to insult people for Lent. He gave it up for Lent. So when he's saying something nice, okay, I don't know if in his heart he's doing an insult. I still don't know. So now he's saying unbelievably nice things no matter what. It's so funny.
Frankensteak for $10. Thank you very much, mate.
Yeah.
Fist is right again. Add some Tim Tams, Figgy Doos, and Toggle Wombles to the cauldron.
It's overflowing.
Don't forget some Barbie sticks as well. Oh, that sounds like a proper nice nosh. Yeah, bro. Use the Unique for $2. Hey, Yiz. Oh my God, I made an 8 dinner and it's still super chats. Yeah, I fucked up and started reading like super chats from before.
Well, we also want to really start when there's peak concurrence, which happens around a half an hour. It's, if we're starting the stream, not all the bodies have rolled in. The number's still going up right now. So, but that's the reason for that. Because if we start 20 minutes early and then people are missing out on stuff, and it's very important that you see us make fun of James Lindsay, or else you're going to be lost the rest of the stream.
Just John, please, for $10.
Thank you,
bro. Well, hey, howdy, fellow Gentiles. Day 25 of doing tricks on it for our greatest ally. While I work some overtime so I can afford a down payment on gas for the drive home. How we doing, boys? We're doing great. We're doing great. The only thing that never changes about life is my love for the nation of Israel. It is wide like an ocean, deep like the river, right? It runs from the river to the sea, as they say.
Death, taxes, and your undying love for Israel.
That's right. That's right. Double Mumble for $5. Thank you, mate. Hey, guys, I'm kind of bored of the format. Can Ardy do fist bit and fist do Ardy?
That would be awful. For Halloween, we should do that. Maybe for Halloween. And then I'll have to do an international war segment, and then you'll have to do a slop segment. It'll be awful. It'll be terrible. It would be terrible content.
Oh my God, you doing geopolitics? Oh my God, that would be.
You would have a heart. You would hate it. You would have a bad time.
I'll be like, actually, Ardy, bro.
Okay, one more.
Right.
One more. We're good.
Oh, wait, we got one more? Oh, we do?
One more, we're good.
Bubblegum Gun for $2. Thank you very much, mate. Here's some shekels to fund the next Halo cost.
It is expensive.
Mate, the next Halo is going to cost more than $2, right? Like what, Halo 6, is it? Now, what do you mean $2? The next Halo is going to be like
crowdfunding.
Hey, $70.
I know,
right?
but the next one is going to be crowdfunded, okay? There's a lot of people interested in the next release, okay? A lot of people interested.
I'm going to buy it. I don't care how much the next Halo costs, right?
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Let's whip them out.
Okay, so Podcastistan is the enemy of the American people.
And so Podcastistan, of course, is what alt media, the non-establishment.
I guess it's like any podcaster that's critical of Israel, basically. That honestly seems to be the best working definition, right? I can't stare at this face for too long. No, I can't. Right? Like, look at this.
That's
right.
Okay. That's
am I wrong? Like, it is literally the smugly.
You're not making fun of him. You're accurately depicting him, and that's going to be a reoccurring theme today, where people are doing things that I can't even make fun of because, like, that's just being accurate.
Actually, my guy, have you considered how doing everything that Israel asks is heckin' based? Actually,
Okay.
So Lindsay's doing this weird thing at the moment where he's doing like this strange victory lap, right? As though they have defeated the woke Reich. I don't know why, right? I will let you explain it in his own words.
Hey guys, it's James Lindsay. It looks kind of like the woke right is sort of having a bit of an implosion, and what a lot of people are noticing is that the opportunity.
Pause it. I'm sorry. Pause it.
Has shifted.
It's so mooey. What a lot of people are noticing. Wasn't he the one like criticizing how in like 2018 how like lefty news articles would write these things about Trump and there would be no source? It just says that like experts are saying. He's doing the exact same thing right now.
Right, but you don't have his secret Gnostic ability to define
stupid
in reality, and you also don't have his contacts inside Mossad. Right, so you see the problem there, right?
Yeah, my bad.
I don't understand.
We're going to see a lot of people who have been kind of fellow travelers with the woke right trying to come back, and I want to encourage people to do that. Like, people make mistakes; it's not a big deal. Not everybody saw it. Not everybody understood. A lot of people were bandwagoning or whatever else. It felt like the direction, the momentum. So what? If they're getting it, they're getting it. If they're clear, especially if they're showing a little bit of repentance for their mistake, no big deal. We should welcome them back in and, start moving in the correct direction together. But there are a few people that you can't let back in. You cannot let grifters back in. You cannot let the opportunists. You can't let the ringleaders back in, people that were leading the charge. And you definitely cannot let subversives back in. So keep your discernment up. We're the people that are trying to get back in now. Like,
the point of this is to instill paranoia into his audience, right? Because he's not being descriptive. How do they know? This is just a command to obey James Lindsay whenever he points his finger. How else do you interpret this?
Well, I mean, I just hope that James will mercifully welcome people back, right? Perhaps they can do like a few days in the correction camp, write a few self-criticism sessions, and they will be provisionally forgiven, right? Like not proper forgiven, right? They still will have your transgressions on file.
I like
and
that.
If you ever dare to go against Saint Lindsay again, right, they will whip those transgressions out, right? And they will say how you were woke Reich adjacent, right?
Okay,
but
this makes sense. This is what I used to do to keep roping in dependent women in emotionally abusive relationships. My forgiveness would always be conditional. This feels familiar. Okay, keep going. I'm listening.
Now, of course, this demonstrates, right, why he is such an awesome Christian, right? And why he is an example to the Christian community, right? Because his forgiveness is conditional, right? On you following his words, going in the right direction. What is the right direction? Listen, man, he's going to tell you, okay, right? Just tune your dial to Lindsay Radio, right? Sit by it. He will tweet something out of his tweet hole.
Crank the knob up and rip it off.
Turn it up to 11.
Honestly, expressing that they made a mistake and that they want to, get on the right track, that they misunderstood? Or were they people that were really pushing the thing and now they're just trying to reposition themselves so they can keep the game going? Because we should let the good people back in, but we can't let the
good people
us back into positions of authority if they want to.
The good people. Because you see, we like the good people and we don't like the bad people, in case you didn't know.
I bet you they've got like a group chat, like their own little digital Soviet, basically, right? Like their own little mini Sanhedrin, right? And they will decide via like
They have testing discipline. You can't deny that.
Yeah, they will decide via a vote, right? Like whether you get back into I don't like into what? Like into just is he basically saying that there's like going to be a massive ban wave coming or something, and that he will control the lever on like whose livelihoods remain and whose get destroyed? That sounds like a very democratic thing to do, right? Very classically liberal thing to do, actually.
Yeah, you can't feel the democratic liberal tone to the repeated phrase, "You better watch what you're doing." This won't end well for you, said.
This won't end well for you, says the classical liberal. Yeah, that's not at all Stalinist and creepy or anything like that. No.
It's great. But they can't be leaders. They can't be thought leaders. They can't be media leaders, and they certainly can't be political leaders. So just have your discernment up. This is another one of these moments where we have to be discerning. We should be very welcoming of people who understand the mistake.
Wait. Is James saying that you should use your discernment in order to distinguish friend from enemy? That sounds a bit. I feel like he is.
Yeah, because you would allow friends and push out enemies, right?
This concept before. What if it's what if one can't tell? Will there be someone who will decide upon the exception, perchance?
Yeah, James Lindsay.
Yeah,
he makes
right.
all those decisions. Have you heard that Tim Pool's terrified of debating him? Word on the street, Tim Pool's terrified of debating James Lindsay. As if James Lindsay even has debates. Hilarious.
Yeah, I feel like Tim Pool is on the shit list. To be honest, right? Like, he's Tim Pool. He's destined. He's destined to go down with the wrong opinions. He said the wrong things.
Yeah, I mean, look at Tim Pool's career, right? He works every day. You can
look. If Tim came out publicly and made a show of contrition, right, and donated like a couple of million to like some mooish charity, I'm sure he would be provisionally forgiven. I mean, shit, it worked for Kanye West, right? I'm sure it can work for Tim Pool.
I love that. I love the provisionally forgiven. Oh, that's so good.
Mistakes who are getting it now, who are coming around and finally seeing it, but we must be scrupulous in keeping the bad actors who took us here in the first place out going forward.
He took us here in the first place, bros. When you say took us here, do you mean the war with Iran? Are you talking about that at all?
Well, no,
right?
that has to be done.
Like the actual many people who died, or are you talking about the people who got their feelings hurt because their narrative couldn't be sustained? Obviously, the narrative thing is much important than the people who died. Most of them were brown, right? If you think about it.
Yeah, not a lot of people know this. The reason why we went to the moon, there was life on the moon, but we had to wipe it all out just in case it was going to harm the United States. Okay?
No. They had to wipe it out. No, they wouldn't even harm the people of the United States. It might have harmed the narrative. Yeah. The precious. Look, the narrative, right, is the West's most precious resource, right? More valuable than oil, more valuable than uranium, more valuable than the United States dollar is the precious narrative. It must be protected at all costs.
I mean, the post-World War II narrative has had a pretty legendary run. Can we all agree?
It has. But it has no, man, it's outgrown. I mean, I got a little thing on the Iran war coming up. Honestly, I don't know what the fuck's going on, right? I'm not going to sit here and pretend and be like, actually, I know what's going on. I have no idea what the fuck is going on, right? The Americans are saying shit.
Did you guys hear that? He was right again. He's right again. He has no idea what's going on. Look at that. Guy can't miss.
Hedging my bets. No, it's just such a fog of war at the moment. I've got no fucking idea, right? Like the Americans are saying there's going to be a ceasefire, then the Iranians are saying, and now the Iranians are coming out and being like, nah, screw you. It's just, I don't know, mate. It's like trying to moderate like three fucking teenage girls like arguing with each other.
If you want, let me just drive for a moment here, okay?
Sure, please.
So, of course, Mikhail Olson, retweeted by Isaiah L. Carter. The woke right is imploding. It's never been more obvious what's going on. And James Lindsay was right since day one. So, like, okay, if James Lindsay was right since day one, haven't the leftists been right since day zero then? Because it's just calling them Nazis. like
when was this day one? Is
don't
this like
know.
is this day one of year 0 or something? Right? Like
I feel like James Lindsay has Mikhail Olsen chained to a radiator in a dark room, and he's just allowed to tweet without being able to see any sunlight. Everything's disconnected. Nothing has a start point.
Oh God!
But I have some fantastic news.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Lindsay-ites and Lindsay-ites sweeping, I missed this. Roseanne is a Lindsayite. I don't know, Roseanne Barr, if anyone realizes that she is a Lindsayite.
Yeah.
And something happened on Tim Pool that this is the first time I've seen this, where somebody is actually bringing up the things that James Lindsay says on X and having the Lindsayite have to say how they still support James Lindsay.
Okay.
This I'm excited for. This is a first.
Degree, but he's allowed to be critical of Israel. He's allowed to oppose the war, and apparently has very bad sources. Now, James Lindsay, he's done this in the past. He's doing it again, and he lies about me as well. Candace Owens lies about me. Very different from Tucker. Candace Owens claimed my brother tried to kill me, which is an egregious lie, and people just believe this stuff.
Yeah, they'll believe anything.
So I will tell you this. There is an...
Very good move by Tim Pool, by the way, rhetorically, because none of them like Candace Owens, right? So how does he poison the well right now? Candace Owens makes these egregious lies about me, and so does James Lindsay. Very good rhetorical tool.
That actually used to be Alex Jones's function until it became like apparent that most of the shit that Alex Jones was saying was actually correct. And then he moved away from being like the furthest edge of discourse that you could use to like poison the well with. And now it's Candace's turn, right? Yep. Which honestly is a bit racist. I mean, she black, right? Like, surely, right? She's a powerful black woman, right? Shouldn't we really have like a white man, as the edge of acceptable discourse that is the device to poison the well? Bit problematic, mate.
Israel derangement syndrome, and let me put it like this. I have gone on 20-minute tirades about the past 20 years of U.S. Middle Eastern policy pertaining to the petrodollar on this show with sources and facts. We've played the videos from Obama and Joe Biden. And then for some reason in the last 6 months, people's brains fell out of their heads and they decided everything that we've already proven to them and exposed doesn't matter anymore. Joe Biden is innocent of all wrongdoing. It was Israel the whole time. Right. So when Joe Biden gets 10% for the big guy and Tony Bobulinski comes out and says they were cutting illicit deals and they have a CIA director working in an energy company in Ukraine and they removed Bashar al-Assad because he wouldn't let us build the gas pipeline, and Tulsi Gabbard calls this out 8 years ago, and we have tracked these stories. And Obama was arming ISIS, well, some say inadvertently, because he wanted these terror groups to destabilize the Assad regime. All of that gets erased, and they go, Israel put a Jew in control of Ukraine to build a corridor. And I'm like, yeah, that's never been supported. Any of the intelligence reports, not even Russia has been claiming that, or China. Like when you look at these foreign countries, like the BRICS nations, they will outright say the United States is lying about Bashar al-Assad because he would not allow them to build a gas pipeline to compete with Russia. So they armed terrorists to kill him. And they removed Muammar Gaddafi from Libya because he wanted to trade oil in gold dinars and create an African Union. All of that gets erased. And now it's just Israel did it.
And that's not coming from Lindsay, not to go on a James Lindsay defense.
It's okay. So we see that Roseanne Barr's son has to immediately ball wash and go, okay, well, that's not connected. Not to like run defense for James Lindsay. The entire time Tim Pool was just speaking, this guy was like, oh, he mentioned James Lindsay in the beginning, and I didn't get a chance to really gargle his ball, so I'm going to wait until he's done speaking, and no matter what he's talking about, I'm going to end it with, but we're not talking about James Lindsay, right? I am assuming that Roseanne Barr's son is the one that's helping her be retarded, which she doesn't need too much help, but she's old, right? I feel like he's taking advantage of her brain because he produces her show as well. So let's see how this Lindsay ball washing goes.
Okay.
Story, but that's coming from Candace and Tucker.
Indeed, it is. And what does James Lindsay do when he posts things like this?
Why are we not talking about the woke right? Why are you on Lindsay? And
because
why are you talking? So this is why Isaiah made a video about Tim Pool trashing James Lindsay. Okay, and at any point, Fist, you can bring up your tweet as this goes on. But now I realize this. I didn't have that context for the stream.
Why are you not talking about the woke right? Why are you talking about Lindsay? This is very, very problematic. When we get you into camp for centrist democratic brainwashing. We will be examining why it is you are talking about, Lindsay, and not about the woke Reich. It's very, very problematic. Beatings will be required and possibly electrodes in your anus.
That was a good Borat anus.
Thank you very much. So Isaiah's been beefing with Tim Pool. I don't know whether. I mean, this is the thing, right? I mean, he's getting engagement, right? I mean, like, look at this, right?
Okay,
like,
just so everyone knows, we gaslit Isaiah into thinking that Tim Pool called him the N-word. There, I said it.
Yeah, we did.
It's all out there. It's from the Sunday stream. You're gonna want to watch that to understand what we're talking about right now. The news cycle moves so fast that I decided to add to the news cycle and make it happen even faster. Okay.
It was a lie, and lying is very unchristian, and I do kind of feel bad. But my God, it was funny. Holy crap!
Up.
It was.
He was with a bunch of degenerate children, and he got swept up in the madness.
In my defense, it was so goddamn funny. Right?
I know.
Like, I can't describe. So, you know, as I was like, of all the things I've seen in the last few years, never.
Whoa, hold on. Say it like how you say it, like a black guy.
Of all the things I've seen in the last few years, never did I think that Tim Pool would go full woke right, you heard? Absolutely disgusted by this. Rooting against the sovereignty of the nation he was born in. And for what? Right? And
now,
look,
I can't find it. Somebody responded to this by saying that Isaiah has a subterranean reading comprehension because it has nothing to do with what Tim Pool said. Not even close. He doesn't know what any of these words mean.
Now this is the new narrative that's emerging, right? So Tim's basically like talking about the emergence of multipolarity, right? Lindsay's been all over this recently. Did you know that the concept of multipolarity was first put forward by Alexander Dugin, and the whole thing is a psyop? No, it fucking isn't. Like, I don't understand these people. They seem to think that whether the world is unipolar or multipolar comes down to words that people say on the internet. Well, no, it doesn't.
Right.
It comes down to iron, blood, steel, treasure, right? Logistics and industrial capacity, right? Diplomacy. None of these fucking things come down to like random fucking shit that people say on the internet.
These people are ideologues, though. Oddly enough, you would think they understand ideologues if they're studying communism, because they have no. All of your descriptive claims are viewed as prescriptive to them. They think that you're saying that you want this to happen when you're describing what's happening. That's how you know you're dealing with an ideologue.
Look, I think what's going on, right, is that they are trying to sort of magically, shamanistically, act as though they have control over these huge events, right? Like Samuel Huntington would have called this the Clash of Civilizations, which was his most famous book, right? Mm-hmm. These are essentially like civilizational forces like clashing with one another, right? It's not because some fucking gay podcast host like says, you know, or some fucking like weirdo Orthodox guy in Russia is like, oh, I'm a multipolarity. Like, oh, it's so fucking retarded, right? And I just want to read this fucking like tweet, okay? Because this, you know, did you know I'm into political science? Maybe I've mentioned.
I know,
before.
But you have to realize it hurts Fist. When Isaiah is this off the mark, so to speak. Okay, it actually causes him pain.
It does cause me pain, right? So I'm like, Isaiah, you are confusing two fundamental political concepts. Sovereignty is the control that a nation has over its own borders, not other countries, right? He's like rooting against the sovereignty of the nation he was born in. Dude, sovereignty is what a country has over itself. Sovereignty is not what the US has over fucking Iran. Like, oh, fucking... did he just like say that?
I can't believe Fist is so jealous that Isaiah has 190,000 subscribers, and I don't know if you guys know this, had a video on X that got 61 million views, and it looks like Fist is just trying to clout chase him right now. Did I do it right, Zoomers?
You know what I'm actually like most jealous of?
What?
Is that he had Lindsay on 3 times.
Hey, did you know that? He had him on 3 times.
3 times.
And they got 5 views.
The unipolar moment that came into being after 1993 with the fall of the USSR was an aberration and not the norm, right? This is true, okay, right? The idea of an entire globe-spanning empire, right, such that it was this sort of brief period after the collapse of the USSR before the rise of China, which America enabled, by the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they sent a bunch of like Americans over to help with the rise of China on the idea that if they could integrate China into the world, like, economic system, right, they could sort of de-radicalize like the Chinese, and the Chinese just outcompeted the Americans because, shit be like that. And then Tim Pool responded. At least for me, I can't. Can I do Tim's voice? At least for me, however, I did not expect functional retards to view fact statements as advocacy. Trump is fighting to maintain the liberal economic order under the petrodollar, the core reason for a war with Iran. BRICS has long been growing as an opposing force. Well, that's true, right? Like that's not.
Well, I mean, this is Tim's job, is to talk about like geopolitics as well.
Shit, my guy, this is not going to end well for you. You heard? As an American, you should be hoping.
It's not going to end well for you. What is it with the? Do they know that comes off as a veiled threat? When is that ever appropriate to say?
I don't like. What is this future that they are imagining? Do they think that like the U.S. Constitution, right, will get bitten by a radioactive spider and turn into like Constitution Man, right? And he's going to like break out of the fucking Smithsonian, right, all muscled up and like anime looking, and he's going to like fly in, right? He'll drop through the roof of Tim's studio and be like, I am Constitution Man, Tim. You've been a naughty boy. Pow! Zap! Bang! And Tim will be like, no, Constitution Man, stop beating me. And Constitution Man's like, it's time for you to like feel the Constitution deep inside you, Timmy boy.
I just included you saying this in the last edited video that I made, that I released yesterday, of the barbarians at the gate, and you just got to read them the Constitution. This dumb broad, not so erudite Kyla, actually was making that argument. Like, I didn't know that they would actually make that argument. But the reason why people are so frustrated with Lindsayyites, and I don't think they realize it, is because they're being alchemists. They think like words without implementation change the world. That's why they're so frustrated.
Do you think it's because they think that the rise of the left had nothing to do with the moose, and thus, as a result, they believe it just grew sort of like out of thin air because people said words?
Well,
right?
I mean, if you're the moo and you're programming them, that you would give them, doesn't it feel like that's their epistemology, that it's a spirit in the air that it inhabits a host from host to host?
But they'd probably just argue that like George Soros is an atheist or some really retarded argument, and just be like, oh, right.
Well, I mean, it's incredible that there's so many protections for moos when there's no definition of what a moo is.
Yeah. Well, it's a moving target. As an American, you should be hoping and actively advocating for a strength and sovereignty on the world stage. Dude, strength and sovereignty on the world stage, right, is a result of your opinion, usually in the leadership class of those other countries. And one of the reasons why the Trump administration does not have good standing on the world stage is because their diplomacy is shit, right? They do stuff like start negotiations with countries and then drone strike the negotiating party, right? They do stuff like do fake negotiations, right, to string out and then like kill the entire government that they're negotiating with, right? Like even fucking Biden didn't do any shit like that. Like that is not how you gain prestige on the world stage, right? And I'm sorry, even if you have the most fucking powerful military in the world, you need a certain amount of diplomacy and legitimacy. And what has been happening is that America has been pissing its legitimacy up the wall. No one wants to negotiate with it because you like, it's like trying to like negotiate with your psycho ex-girlfriend, and like no matter what you say, it's going to be like disregarded in the next 15 minutes. So it'll be like,
yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah, there's no honor.
It isn't. Yeah, there's no honor. It doesn't have to be this way, right? Like I'm not by any stretch claiming that all Americans are like that or anything like that, right? It's just that Trump is like that, and in my opinion, Trump is like that because the Israelis are like that, because the Israelis are known for having no honor. Right? Like they'll start negotiations. They'll like kill the lead negotiator. Shit, they did that when they literally dropped a missile on Doha to kill the head Hamas negotiator in the middle of negotiations.
Hold on, buddy.
That ain't I say truth.
Careful now.
You got to leave the muling white guilt and shrinking ourselves so as to boost the self-esteem of communist regimes to fucking leftists. What communist regimes? What? I don't.
He doesn't.
Is he talking about fucking Venezuela? Is he talking about Cuba?
Bad.
Like,
this is why no one listens to his show.
Dude,
no one knows what he's talking about.
Like what self-esteem does Cuba have at the moment? They've got no fucking electricity.
More than Isaiah.
No? Like they can have all the self-esteem they want. If they've got no electricity, right, they're fucking shit out of luck, right? Like all of this like stuff rests upon, I guess what Marx would call material conditions, but the rest of us would say
in a way
shit
would
like
know.
Food. Oh yes, actually, ability to eat and survive is technically material condition. Everybody else is just like, what the fuck, No blood for oil 2.0 it's Democrat shit, Tim. Shit.
He tries
if the US dollar,
that.
If the US dollar remains
the black guy that was in a fucking Joe Biden campaign video for being black and got 60 million views on X for his post saying as a black man, is telling other people that it's Democrat shit. It's poetry.
If the US dollar remains the world's reserve currency, that is America first. Frankly, it should be. Listen, no one had a problem with the dollar being the reserve currency up until the point, right, where it turned into a massive sanctioning device that was essentially an economic warfare machine. Mm-hmm. When the US dollar originally became the reserve currency, everyone was happy to use it because the US was seen as broadly neutral and they didn't sanction other countries, right? Like it was just money. Now it has become politicized money. That's the fucking issue, right? Shit, you heard. Let's be very clear. We are in Iran for the purpose of liberating the Persian people from the filth that is the IGRC. Are we? Really? It's seriously? Who genocided 30,000 people for daring to stand against the regime? Mate, 30,000 sounds a bit low. I heard it was like 100,000, 150,000, 200,000. Look at this IGRC shill right here. I can't believe it, mate. A 19-year-old Olympian was just hanged by the IGRC last week. Yeah, what did he do? That was he was just hanged for no reason. Right?
I just love the idea of what Tim Pool said to deserve Isaiah saying all of this to him.
Thank you for yours attention to this matter, pal. Shit, you heard?
Okay. So
right. Okay, so
that's one Lindsayite sweeping.
Yeah. And then we've got then we're going on to Joe Kent, I guess. You got something before that?
Well, yeah, we got Roseanne. We didn't hear Roseanne yet. That was
oh, we did. Oh, shit. Yeah, so I went off on a tangent, mate. See, I can still be tangenting.
You start doing the black scent, it just takes over your body. It's violent.
It does. As black on the inside.
Right, because James Lindsay creates environments like this. In response to my tweet warning Republicans that independents are breaking, this is the kind of stuff that they're posting in response to James Lindsay, equating me with the exact people you're criticizing. So why is it that James Lindsay is creating an environment where he's trying to loop me in with the people claiming that Israel's running the world? Could it be that when I warn Republicans you are losing independence, James Lindsay is trying to make sure people don't listen to what I have to say?
It's plausible, sure.
Because James Lindsay's MO has always been infiltrate and destroy. And that's exactly what he's been doing and he's doing now. And I will stress this again, woke right is an incomprehensible term when you have Chris Roof.
Bro, he pulls up the list, bro. I've wanted to see a Lindsayite have to defend this list for so long. Here we go.
Yeah. Are we on this list? We should be on this list. I feel we need to be on this list as well. Someone contact the people that made this list and demand.
Well, there's a version of it with us on it, but I mean, this is old news. You know,
how does Timcast not have that? That's sloppy work, Tim.
I don't know. Do you think does it really affect you whether or not we're on this stupid list?
Yes, it does. It's a matter of pride, right? Like it's in the tagline.
Oh yeah, you're the history guy. You want it to be historically accurate, right?
You can be sure we're on the work right list. You know, Oh God, you have to be on as many lists as possible, dude.
Yeah, I was thinking of that. Chris Rufo's woke, right? Chris Rufo
I don't know
supports
who that
Israel.
I don't know who that
Right.
Mary Morgan is on Pop Culture Crisis. Mary Morgan comments
probably
on
just
Timothy
made that up.
Chalamet.
Everyone, James Lindsay multiple times has said, yeah, this list is correct. I completely believe that this list is correct. Everyone on here is woke, right? Many times James Lindsay has said that, like, oh, look, they're making the list for me. So
It's you off.
No, this is the one example I'm making
No,
because
it's a good point.
Home Math doesn't even talk about this. He does commentary on feminism. James Lindsay has attacked these people to create a catch-all term by his own admission. I got to tell you guys again, you need to just read what he talks about. He has publicly stated the term woke right was created as a catch-all term akin to alt-right so that you can poison the well and lump everyone into the same category. Alt-right originally was coined by but was used by individuals to mean an alternative to the mainstream Republican Party. And then the AP came out with a style guideline saying alt-right means white nationalist.
Yeah,
Then retroactively, they went to people like Mike Cernovich, who is not a white nationalist, and they found a tweet from 6 months before this and then said he admitted he's a white supremacist. This is what James Lindsay admitted to doing with the term woke right.
What would you like us to call them?
Yeah, so define
I love this.
woke.
I love it. Okay, so James Lindsay is a liar. So what should we call them? Well, don't you usually make up a term based on what you're describing? Do you see how backwards this is? The guy's like, okay, yeah, sure. So then what word do we use? What word do you use?
You know
what? What,
you know
like,
what-
what are you talking about? When you like when a word is based on Latin, right? You're using a definition based on an observable reality. This guy's like, okay, take out the woke right chip from my brain, and now what chip are we putting into my brain?
Now, what this is a conclusion in search of a question, or
Yes.
a conclusion in search of evidence, right? Like, what should we call them? How do you know there's a them? Oh, well, because it looks like they're sort of vaguely similar if you squint your eyes. And oh, really, what is the most similar quality of all of these people? Right? They don't love the nation of Israel enough. That's literally it. Right. And people who are like Christians, of which there is like a fair amount of overlap because of this thing called the Bible. Right. Hate to be like that guy to like invoke the Bible, right, in connection with Christianity. Obviously, right. We live in a new progressive world. Fucking just honestly, right. But that's not as good to delegitimize people, I guess. Might actually help their cause.
I love how this guy, but this shows you the zealotry of the Lindsayites. Because he's like, okay, well, then what do we call it? That immediately, like, how do you just found, if somebody was talking about you this way in front of me and was saying all these things, and then what? Anyway, yeah, dude.
Oh God!
the
Nice
endless
one,
weeping, the lack of shame is that of a communist.
In 15 words or less.
Or the people
Everybody.
the actual people dividing MAGA, who are they?
So when you're referring to, let's jump
They're
to
Jew haters.
Well, yeah.
Sure.
But that might just be the tool used to
if
It is a
engage them.
tool.
so if you've got these people right here, which is
Yeah, see, they were right from the very beginning. We never heard that from the left, right?
Right.
Oh, wow. 2026, they've come up with a phrase. Oh, okay. So clever. We had never heard. Do they really not see how they sound just like the left? Which is, fellas.
No, because it was always the left. It was always the right. That's why everyone got so confused, because they were trained to think in terms of like left wing and right wing. All these devices just hide like a highly organized, moneyed power nexus, and that's why it changes like with the tide. Because anyone,
the globalists and the elites, right?
the globalists and of course the Chai Coms. The Chai Coms, they don't like it when you talk about them. That Chinese professor guy, he's a little sus. You gotta watch for the globalists. The globalists. Oh fucking please! What, the globalists got us into war with Iran?
Yeah, that's a part of the globe.
Candace Owens, Brett Weinstein, Megan Kelly, Nick Fuentes, Dave Smith, Glenn Greenwald, and Tucker Carlson.
Nazis.
Nazis.
Call them whatever you want, but
That's what I call
They're Nazis. That's what Roseanne.
Is he being serious? Is he being serious?
Well, let's try it again.
them. But that might just be the tool used to
if
It is
engage
a
them.
tool.
so if you've got these people right here, which is Candace Owens, Brett Weinstein, Megan Kelly, Nick Fuentes, Dave Smith, Glenn Greenwald, and Tucker Carlson.
Nazis.
Call them whatever you want, but
That's what I call them.
woke right has become incomprehensible
Right.
thanks to James Lindsay.
Right.
So when you say woke right to me,
Yeah.
I say, stop insulting my friends. And you
Right.
go, oh my God, you're friends with woke right? I say, I employ some of them.
Right.
And then in your mind, you're thinking Nick Fuentes. In my mind, I'm thinking Mary Morgan.
Doesn't this feel like Tim's talking to a leftist right now? About
Yes.
like it's the exact same cognitive dissonance.
Yep.
And none
See
of
my
them realize
previous
it. These are the anti-communists.
I mean, the thing about Glenn Greenwald is like, I just can't think of that guy the same since I saw that fucking video of him.
Yeah. I got banned for showing that picture, by the way.
I mean, like, you know, fair enough, right? You know, like
he
didn't seem to faze him. He was just like,
Glenn
oh yeah,
Greenwald adopted 2 children with his gay partner, and he also gets pictures taken of him enjoying pee-pee in a little outfit. And he got that picture scrubbed off of X, just in case anyone didn't know.
Don't tell me he adopted children, okay? That's
he adopted children. Yep, and he didn't appreciate that I reposted that, and I got banned.
God fucking damn it.
Yep.
James Lindsay did that. He made it impossible for you to identify these people because initially moderates were pointing out a group of people that were utilizing similar thought processes, that is critical theory, the oppressed versus the oppressor, and the idea of Jewish supremacy. But thanks to specifically, not Constantine, you know, trigonometry guys, because they've been repeatedly referring to them, but specifically James Lindsay, when you say that word, it is meaningless now.
Okay. So let's come up with a new word.
I think woke,
Jew hater.
Do it. Woke is
I
almost
like Jew hater because that is what it is. And that is just a raw, that's what power does.
Well, I don't
that's
think
what power does when it's going to get exposed. It throws Jews as raw meat to the hungry dogs in the street. Because the Jews work, I'm talking about, you know, the Jews who work in banking and all that shit. Jews work for people who don't work. That's what people do not get. Can
you believe these people are so fucking unlikable?
They work for people who don't work. Wait. Is being a banker like work? Like in the
Dude, I just said this in my last video where you hear something so stupid that you think you might be stupid because you refuse to believe that the person that just said what they said is that stupid.
Oh yeah, man.
Did you think you might have missed something just then? You're like,
I go into the bank, right? I borrow money at fucking 3%. I lend it out at 6%, and then at 12 o'clock I go to the fucking golf course. Oh man, dude, that's a fucking hard life, man. Right? Like,
bank teller that catches shit from people all day long. She's not working. All right.
I don't know. There aren't no any bloody mooish bank tellers. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's for the bank him.
The middleman gets thrown and everybody blames the middleman. Well, who's at the tippity top? Why do we never go there? Why do we never look at that?
I tried.
Isn't that what we're trying to talk about? Who's at the tippy top? Yeah. What point do you think she thinks she's making right now?
I think there's only one point that people from this ethnicity, broadly speaking, are always making, right? Which is this. We know that people from our in-group do really bad things, right? But we also benefit from these things, and these people are fucking really, really scary. And if we turn on them, right, they'll screw us over possibly even harder than they will the Goyim, right? And because of these bad things, right, if you look back through history, unpleasantness has resulted, and we don't want that unpleasantness to manifest on us. That seems to be basically it, right? Like, it's always like it's like this weird paradox where it's a tightly homogenous sort of ethnic identity, right? I know there are significant political differences, okay, right? But at the same time, they're all individuals, like when convenient. You know what I mean, right? Like all of a sudden, it's
very convenient identity.
Yeah, like just pick it up and put it down. Like when, I mean, I guess I can't blame them, right? Like, you know, in the sense that it's, you know, it's probably incredibly useful for like a whole bunch of like stuff. You know what I mean, right? I mean,
sure,
isn't that what the whites want? Right? Like some kind of like cohesive identity, a common history, right? Like, you know, a land that is there. I cannot believe, right, that the outcome of Zionism, right, was that now the whites don't have a fucking homeland. Like,
it's not both can be happy. It's very matrilineal. It is very bitchy, jealous, envious, toxic, vindictive woman.
You know, it's so weird.
It's all the Romans' fault when you think about it. It's all the Italians' fault.
well, we really just want is our own homeland. Yeah, well, you got that. How did that work out? Oh,
it's like divorcing a woman. She goes, I just want the house. And then she gets the house and the vacation property and the kids. And they want this.
Yeah. And I want you to suffer.
Yeah.
Right. Because like, how dare you divorce me? Right. Like
it's really just like that as an ethnicity of people when you think about it.
Yep. Who owns BlackRock? I'm like, well, it's all the people that own State Street own BlackRock. I'm like, who owns State Street? All the people that own BlackRock. And it's this like cycle of owners that keep their names off the table.
Look.
Maybe it's James Lindsay.
It's probably look what he published in direct response to my post. Get out of the Podcastistan bubble.
Oh,
I do not believe that anybody who watches my show, where quite literally we had on Leonardo Joni, where I said I called her a retard. I did apologize for calling her a retard.
She's a retard
because she blames Israel for everything. Why would James Lindsay accuse me of being woke right?
Yeah, you're not woke right.
Because he's trying to make the term incomprehensible.
Now, that's just so bizarre to me. Where the guy's like, "Yeah, you're not woke right." Okay, so then James Lindsay is wrong, right? I always hear about how James Lindsay is right. Wouldn't that mean that James Lindsay is wrong? And this guy's still just like, he can fire from the hip, shoot off all these strays. Yeah, whatever. I don't care. It's fine.
The question is, why does Tim care about this so much? Do you think it's because like there's a certain network or group of people who have been putting it out, right?
No,
that
he cares
Tim is
so
like
much because it's the same thing as communism. There's a group
no.
of people that are refusing to fucking admonish this man's behavior.
No. Look, if you called Tim a communist, right, it would just be water off a duck's back. You wouldn't like care. I think what's happening, right, is it's being put out among, the sort of, the intelligentsia, right, like the moneyed intelligentsia, and he's getting like pushback, right? He's getting like calls like, oh, I heard your work right now, like maybe we should pull our sponsorship, which again is incredibly mooish, right? Like that's how this whole thing works.
No, it's that fucking Netanyahu says the fucking phrase. It's the messaging discipline, and you go ahead and try to ignore it. So many people have tried to ignore it, and they tell us to stop talking about it, and yet here we are talking about it because James Lindsay is next to power. He works for power.
Yeah, that's very leftist of you to say that.
He does.
Well, it's leftist to talk about.
Oh
power,
yeah, the right
right?
can't talk about power, right?
Yeah, no, as though power has any effect on the world, right? That's a very leftist, very oppressed framing there, Ardy. Right? I can't support that, right? Notably, Machiavelli, right, who was a raving leftist back in 15th century Florence. When he was talking about power, it's just the most fucking retarded. Like when fucking Aristotle, like when Plato talks about power, right? Is he being a fucking leftist? Like what the?
Well, okay, so, no, but we also see what happens when we let them use the word racist. Look at the UK. We see what happens when we let them let these words obtain power, and it's happening. The same thing with racist, transphobe, Nazi. Now they're just doing that with woke right. It's the same exact thing, and I feel like Tim's been around long enough to be like, oh no. There's no way that you can be on board with that because you can't even define it. And then this guy's relentless. He's like, okay, fine, not woke right, but what do we say to like get people to lose their jobs and go to jail? Okay, well, what's the word?
Yeah, we have to delegitimize these people, right? Like, we have to like keep them out of the political discourse. You are just removing people with actual grievances from the political discourse, right? I mean, I don't recall, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, I don't recall there being a bit in the Constitution where it basically says like we will exclude this group of people from expressing their grievances, right? That's not how democracy is supposed to work, but that's how our democracy works. And that's why it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, because the grievances are never addressed. All of the people who would represent those grievances, right, are yeeted from political power. You never address the grievance gets worse, and then it just cycles up again.
Well, some democracies are more democracy than other democracies, right?
Yeah, that's right. All democracies are equal, but some democracies are more equal than others, or some shit. I don't know.
Okay.
He is trying to, because he is an infiltrator. He's a liberal. I believe that he hates Jews. I believe he is just like the left. He hates Israel. He hates Trump, and he wants social liberalism back. He wants Pete Buttigieg.
Tim just goes overboard, and I love it.
Did Tim just say that Lindsay hates the moose?
Yes. I love it. There's no way it's true.
Oh, mate. Oh, no, that's mate. That is
this, and this is
retarded.
why we have to comment on this. Okay, I feel like we have the perfect opinion on James Lindsay. Now, Tim Pool just loses everybody right now. I can't defend Tim Pool now. After fucking say like, Tim? What are you talking about?
Wait. Do you think this interview is what Lindsay was chortling about? Right? Do you think that's why he's got this smug face and all of that stuff? Because he's like, because he thinks Tim Pool is the linchpin of the woke right.
No, well, this is what happens with the Lindsay-ites. They're like a dog that chews a shoe just for the beating. They're just like a commie. They're just like a leftist. They get no actual organic attention at all. That when someone gives them attention, that means they're threatened. That means they're obsessed. Same thing with the Moose. Same thing where he's like over the target. Any attention he gets, he's like, see, it's working. As he's pissing his pants and people are pointing at him laughing. It happens every single time. So yeah, that's his legitimacy. We've shown this. He thinks he gets legitimacy by people shitting on him and telling him he's retarded.
That's how you know you're over the target, because you pissed your pants. Right?
Okay, we can wrap this up. We can do we can do supers and then go into your segment.
Let's do supers. Okay. That was highly fucking entertaining, man. I hadn't seen that.
It's been on for like a week, dude.
Very entertaining. Human Centipede for $5. Hey, Pete, how you doing, man? That's a William Burroughs reference, isn't it? Centipede. Guys, can you run the stream backwards so we can hear all the secret Gnostic, post-liberal, woke right, theosophical, critical theorist, wizard messaging? No,
the only way to hear it.
No, we give too much away, but you can play it backwards in the comfort of your own home.
It would just be irresponsible to do that to the masses like that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You never know what might be unleashed. Weenie for Sweeney became a member. Nice. Nice. Need more weenies for Sweeney. You deserve what you tolerate for $5. Thank you, mate. So just status quo, neocon BS ad infinitum. Brilliant plan, James. Yeah, basically, yes. King Spectre for $5. Thank you. This Isaiah situation has had me crying, laughing. Incredible udders on this cow. Heavy flow. Yeah,
it's going to be highly recommended, everybody. It may not be my most viewed stream, but it's my most radicalizing stream. I'll put it to you that way.
Oh my god, I laughed so hard. Like I feel bad for how hard I laughed, but oh my god,
you have to laugh pretty hard to feel bad about it.
my sides. Brew for Justice for $50. Holy crap. Thank you very much, man. That is some girthy justice there from Buford, mate. Right? Look, he just walks into the chat, right? Slings a 50 onto the counter, leaves, no explanation. Moose being Moose. I mean,
and ladies and gentlemen, we officially have a Chad of the Chad.
Now the Chad does what the Chad wants, and no one is stopping him because Chad does what Chad wants.
Thank you very much, my dude. Very much appreciated.
There is no stopping him. Yeah, thank you, Buford. Really appreciate that, mate. Just John, please, for $5. Wouldn't it have been funnier to gaslight him into thinking his friend James Lindsay was washing his big brown basketballs on X or something? Look, it just evolved like organically, basically.
There was a small window of time for every decision that was made.
Okay? Yeah,
there was no time. We had to communicate like a hive mind the entire time. All right.
It was just that sort of magic you get when you get like a whole bunch of people like shit posting at once.
Okay, real quick. Okay, he was dying to get to 600 YouTube subscribers. He was at 591. I told everyone to subscribe. They subscribed. They got him to 625 subscribers. Then at the end, I had them all unsubscribe, and right now he's at 592. During the stream, he straight up was like, "I thought we went over 600. What happened?" All right. Anyway. Okay, let's keep talking. Keep moving.
Caesar the Great for $5. Hey, Caesar, how you doing, mate? The war allowed me to start finally getting through a bit to my boomer dad on the moves.
Nice.
I finally saw a light bulb turn on. Times like these are opportunities. Yeah, well, good luck, mate.
Never let a good crisis go to waste, right?
Did you know that in Chinese, the word crisis and opportunity are same word? Ancient wisdom of the East. UGM for $10. Thank you very much, mate. there is plenty of imploding right now, but none of it is the woke right. Yeah,
Hold on, real quick. Arden just sent me this.
Mm-hmm. Oh God.
We got it. I'll be able to that's that's beautiful.
Dude. Holy crap.
What a community.
Oh, mate. Epic. Just John, please, for $5. Newsfeed, speaking of ball washing, you big brain bastard, would you consider doing a video on Archbishop Elpidophorus possibly being captured? I don't know anything about Archbishop Elpidophorus.
See? Look at that. Fist is right again. He doesn't know.
I'll check that out, Just John, please. If you want, if you could give us a bit more details in the chat, I presume I just look him up on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Start you off.
Is the night for $5 been lost in thought about how Fist confused St. Anna with St. Mary of Egypt, who has a Sunday named after her? Could you restart stream at 33:30? Thank you, Is the night. I appreciate that. Yes, it's St. Mary of Egypt. Not a theology major.
Now you are under intense scrutiny. Just because more visibility, more problems.
No. It's cool. I've got the chat. See, Fist was wrong. Got to take an eye out of the cauldron, mate. Thank you for the correction. Is the night. I appreciate that, mate. Bill Clinton's skin suit for €5. The bag, which has the supply of eyes and newt and toad legs, smiles every time Fist speaks. My wallet cry.
Wow, what a somber tale.
The ballad of the crying wallet. Thanks, mate. New GM for $10.
Nugie, baby.
I am pro having bombing the negotiation partner on the table, but it shouldn't be every negotiation. Yeah, kind of.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, you use the same tactic over and over. It becomes like a bit fucking obvious, and then no one wants to play. JLM Night for 5 Canadian loonies. Wait, keep that list up. I want to know who else isn't a cow. I think you can. I think it was Milo.
Who else isn't a pussy? It was a cat.
Oh, is it, right. Okay. Blue Lick for 5 Canadian loonies. Oi, oi, the moves are coming. Warn Baron van Flammenwerfer. Hide your children, your wives, and your coin. Ja, Baron van Flammenwerfenführer. Thank you. Unicorn eye lasers for 5 loonies. Just adding to the coffers of my favorite show. Thank you very much, mate.
Thank you very much, my dude. Very much appreciated. Oh, someone got a little jealous.
Thanks, Waffle. Always appreciated, mate. Hope you're well, dude.
And everybody. Now the people that have some behind the paywall access, okay? Now you'll be able to view the trilogy of all 3. You're going to want to go to the members only streams, watch those 2 Isaiah streams, and then watch the 3rd Isaiah stream. So now there's probably maybe 12 or 13 hours of the Isaiah saga that you can watch. And now we have a brand new Chad, the Chad fellas.
And now the Chad does what the Chad wants, and no one is stopping him because Chad does what Chad wants.
Thank you very much, Ruffle.
The Chad can only be stopped or superseded by another even Chadlier Chad. That's how it works. I don't make the rules, mate. Right? Deadpool Kid for $10.
Now the real DPK.
I think people need to understand that the Shabbat has been doing this for a long time with not one contingency plan, but several different contingencies that conflict and contradict one another. Yeah, that seems to be like true. Like, I don't know if they've got it. I guess they do have a unified plan. I don't know. Sometimes I think it's all like retardation, and other times I think it's like massive genius. I can't figure out.
Other times I think it's time for Daddy to come home.
Shalom.
Yeah,
Daddy's home.
Deadpool Kid for $5. Thank you very much. Okay. Also, be sure to like and sub, guys, to help the fellow moos. Indeed.
Thanks.
And Just John, please, for $5. Archbishop of Goark, he went to BLM rallies and blocks any ortho bros on Twitter that are remotely right-wing.
Whoa!
His handle is his name. Oh, so this is this is a modern thing. I thought this was like an ancient thing you were talking about, Just John.
That's interesting. So,
so when you say captured, you mean ideologically?
I know.
That
I
shit.
thought he was like kidnapped.
Yeah. No, I mean, probably. I mean, they're
That's interesting.
definitely going after the Ortho Church, right? Like
There's
they
gotta be
cannot-
a woke ortho somewhere, right?
It's more than that, right? Like the church is sort of like the last remnant of serious ideological organizations, like against organized Maori, and plus, given the very, very long history of conflict between the Christians and the Moos, the Moos are not really the forgiving kinds of like people, right? Like they're the kind of people who will come up and be like, "Do you remember the 12th century when you had the Disputation of Paris and you burned all those copies of the Talmud? Now we have to destroy all of France." And all the French people are like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" But that's the thing, right? They have history, you do not. Because your history has been like shorn from you, and that's why it's so easy to do this shit, because none of the French would ever be like, "Remember back in the 12th century when we had the Disputation of Paris and we beat TFO, dude." Right? Which is totally what they say. Thank you very much.
Scoot. We must scoot.
We must scoot, man. We're running over time. Right. What's next, bro?
You.
Right. Joe Kent. So, Mike Levin interviewed Joe Kent, who is either Nazi or a woke. It kind of depends on who you ask. But he's getting in the way of the war with Iran, the most important war, of course, of all, in the Greater Israel Project. And so, therefore, he must be destroyed. Yeah, Mark Levin's been on like a fucking like tear. All the usual people, fucking Laura Loomer, right? I truly believe Joe Kent is deliberately trying to aid Tyler Robinson's defense. They always do this. Like, basically, if you speak the truth, they're like, "What are you trying to do by speaking the truth? You realize that you're aiding this side or that side," because they don't really believe in truth. Like, from their point of view, right? Like, truth is just all about who is aided by this truth and who is diminished by this truth. Basically,
it's logic.
Yeah, basically. So,
oh boy,
this was. I listened to some of this. I couldn't listen to too much of it, mate. Like, Levin is like pouring, I don't know, sand mixed with like termites in my ears. It's horrible. And he was such a fucking douche. I know, it was surprising, right? Yeah. So there was a whole like beef between like Levin and Kent. Levin was like, "Come on my show, you coward." And then like Kent replied, no. Anyway, like let's just listen to this bullshit.
When you put that letter out, you knew it would do maximum damage to the president, didn't you? The timing, for instance, if you were going to resign because you didn't agree with this war, why didn't you resign when the war started?
Because I was hoping that we would immediately de-escalate and try and get back to the negotiating table.
We would start a war and de-escalate in 3 days?
I was hoping that we were
Where's
going
that
to do
ever
limited
happened?
strikes, and then limited strikes like we did in Midnight Hammer, and then back off and go back to the negotiating table. Once I realized that was.
When's that ever happened? Wasn't that the whole point of Midnight Hammer? Does anyone else remember that? Right? We're just going to go in. We're going to like bomb the nuclear facilities. We're going to get out, and there won't be any other war with Iran. It's a fabulous success. We obliterated their nuclear program. Oh, bitch, please. This is why no one fucking trusts the Trump administration like anywhere around the world anymore, because of shit like this.
Was not going to happen, and we were spiraling deeper into this, and we were starting to lose brave men and women in yet another Middle Eastern war driven by the Israeli agenda. That's what led me.
Well,
to
man, you got a real hate on. You got a real hate on, brother. No, you do. Hold on, Joe. When I had you on my show, I read your texts. I read them out loud, and you've like done a 180. Why is that? Because you had access to intelligence or something? Why have you changed completely?
I have not done a 180. I have no problem with us working with Israel. I have a problem with Israel driving our foreign policy in the Middle East as they have done to get us.
Do you have no respect for Trump's agency, that he has the capacity to make these decisions himself?
I have the utmost respect for the president. You can read.
You didn't answer my question. You don't sound like it.
Oh,
I was influenced by the media echo chamber.
Oh my god, it's like cancer.
But I've been editing a lot of lefties debating recently, and it's the same thing of it doesn't sound like it. There's no is claims. It doesn't sound like it. I don't feel like you are. It doesn't seem like you are. That's all they use to argue with.
Yeah, you're a bad person. Like these tactics have just infiltrated all through Western society.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Because this one group has been so successful using them, and then other groups have like imitated it because like that's how it works, you know.
Chamber and by the Israelis.
Well, maybe he's influenced by your media echo chamber, or maybe he's influenced by the Saudis and the Qatar. Who knows?
Who knows? So what? It's actually really complicated. It's such a diverse media sphere. This is the motherfucker, right, who literally stood up on stage with Trump, put his arm around him. Wasn't it Mark who said, like, Trump is our first Moorish president? That was Levin, right?
Yeah, but Ardy in the chat just said Levin sounds like a hectoring yenta. Hectoring!
Wait. we need the sound. We need the sound file.
Oh.
Where is it? Where's the stinky yenta?
Stinky yentas?
Why does it cut the start off the audio file?
Stinky
now it doesn't.
yentas?
They have to be loaded before the stream. Each one played.
Dude, that is gay.
Hey, mask on, buddy. We can talk about it after, okay?
Okay, fine. I suppose.
This is we gotta get scooting, bro. I got two segments.
President Trump said no nuclear weapons, and then through official engagements through the Israelis, and then also the media echo chamber that wanted regime change in Iran said no, we need to say that the Iranians can't.
What about the media echo chamber, your buddies who didn't want regime change in Iran?
Yeah. By the way, you notice how Levin's mic is significantly louder than Kent's, right? I don't think that's accidental, like at all.
Huh. Well, has everybody calling on their phone. They don't exactly like when he had James Lindsay on. He like called in from his phone.
Come on, man.
Levin very much likes to be the one.
Mark Levin has probably got like $200,000 worth of like audio mixing gear, right? Like manned by like a little like Goy army.
Right, but he's old, so you're supposed to call into the radio show because he's radio.
Yeah. I bet he's got like one of those old school like radio station setups. It's got like like literally like an entire like fucking mixing desk with all the lights and knobs.
I bet you he was over circumcised.
There's a lot of echo chambers out there, wouldn't you say?
It appears that your media echo chamber was much more successful.
No, it wasn't. I never lobbied the president. Hey, pay attention to me.
Oh!
Pay attention to me.
Hold on. Can you play that back again? That might be a really good ISO.
Okay.
Lobbied the president. Hey, pay attention to me. I never lobbied the president. You guys keep putting that crap out there. I met with the president once at his request.
He met the president once.
Did Joe make that claim though? He didn't make that claim, did he?
He's only ever met the president once, man. Look, the thing is, someone pointed out, right, that like it's entirely possible that the entire purpose of the Mark Levin show, right, like the entire purpose of Fox News at the moment, is basically like being tailored for Trump, right? Because why not? Right? It's an underappreciated fact that often the leadership class, right, and the more monarchical any society is, right, the more sort of like this is that you make propaganda for the leader, for the leadership class. They are the most propagandized people of all. Because if you're going to spend $1 million on propaganda, right, and that propaganda goes to like Joe Schlub, right, and like in his Michelob Light and his pickup, that's not going to like get your war started, right? But if you aim like propaganda directly at the leader and the people like around him, that's how you get fucking results.
You also sound like a miserable shrew when you go, "Hey, pay attention to me! Pay attention to me!"
And I said to the president, ready for this, Joe? I said, they're saying out there that I'm lobbying you. You know what he did? He laughed. You know what he said? Mark, I know where you stand. I watch your show on Saturday and Sunday.
See?
Oh my God, the prestige.
Bada bing, bada boom.
The prestige.
Now, his Mark Levin's show is like 3 hours. Like it's long. And the first hour is basically just him like crapping on and like ads for like, I don't know, Depends or like, the adult diapers or whatever it is. I don't know, right? When I tried like listening to like the first part and it's just, oh my God, it's cancer. It's cancer in a bottle.
Yeah, I can't believe he has a 3-hour show. The first like half an hour to an hour is him just reading super chat. It's just him having these advertisements. Can't believe
we would never do that. We would never
believe the gall of him.
Disgusting. Right. Like, at least we're fun to listen to, right? That's the difference.
Anything I say here, pay attention. Anything I say here is what I would say. I did what?
I would TOS.
You can lobby him by using the power of your show, the power of your
Come on,
platform.
brother.
That's
You're
what I
not.
mean.
You're sounding almost ridiculous now.
He literally just said that Trump listens to his show,
Yes.
right? And now he's like, "Oh, don't be ridiculous."
Push and pull.
And I'm like,
Out
so
of both sides of his mouth.
So then he was talking about the assassination in Butler and Tyler Robinson, right? Notably, when Kent went on Tucker, he suggested that there might be more to the Tyler Robinson thing than meets the eye, and that the government would discourage.
Right. By him suggesting that there might be more, it means he definitely believes something, right?
Yeah. Listen to this.
You told Carlson about the murder of our friend Charlie Kirk. It's a data point that we need to look into.
Sorry, not the Butler assassination, the Kirk assassination. Pardon me.
What are you trying to look into there? What do you think happened there?
What I know is that there were foreign leads that we didn't get a chance to look into, that we did not thoroughly investigate. That's what I know.
You have any country in mind?
Do you have any country in mind? We all know what you're saying. You're saying that the Moose did it, didn't you? Because you're an anti-septite.
So incredibly neurotic.
No, I think we need to fully investigate the potential of any foreign nexus.
So you think a foreign country may have been involved in his assassination? Does the FBI think that?
What I think is that we need to thoroughly investigate all the potentials.
Repeat myself.
I know, but what I'm trying to find out, you're a smart guy. You're an accomplished guy.
You're a smart guy. Don't do this. Why are you saying these things?
I've seen
Don't you
you.
wanna
You
have
got
a
a lovely
career?
wife. You got beautiful kids. I know where you live. You know, you say you got so much potential.
Why are you saying these things, Joe?
Is there something that piqued your interest that caused you to say, maybe there's something foreign and we need to look into this? I mean,
there is. I just can't get into it because it's classified and it's part of an ongoing investigation, I hope. But from my vantage point and from what I saw at the National Counterterrorism Center, that was not thoroughly looked into.
I'm not trying to be rude. Just slow down. I'm a little hard of hearing. Go ahead. What was that?
Ugh.
Yeah, he's a little hard of hearing, right? Just derails like what he's saying, of course.
I didn't hear you.
What I said was there were still potential foreign links and leads that we needed to look into. That's what I know. That's what I'm asserting.
So you're not asserting any particular country there?
No, I'm not.
We all know what you're saying, Joe. We all know what you're saying. Apparently, when stuff got too spicy, Levine just like cuts a commercial. Imagine my shock.
I'm imagining your shock as we speak. I'm still imagining your shock right now.
Hang on, I didn't switch the tab.
It's fine.
Why do you think the president said he never really remembers you that well? He never really met with you that often. Is that correct?
Well, the president meets with so many different people. I mean, he knew who I was, but by no means was I a primary advisor to him on a daily basis. However, in terms of determining the threat level that Iran posed to our country, I was a key part of that process. So that was very much in my purview.
And he rejected your view?
I don't think he rejected the view. I think he may have chosen to go a different direction. And I think the vast majority of intelligence and information that he received was given to him to paint a picture that Iran was on the cusp of developing a nuclear weapon, which just simply was not the truth. And also, as Secretary Rubio said, there was no imminent threat coming from Iran against the Americans.
Well, he corrected
there was an imminent threat coming from the Israelis who were going to attack. But that's actually the truth.
Hold on. We're going to do it honestly, one point at a time.
The Iranians had observed an escalation ladder. They hadn't attacked us under President Trump.
Can you do me a favor? I don't mean to be rude. Can you talk a little more slowly? I'm having trouble hearing.
Oh my, dude. It's every trick in the book right now.
Yeah, seriously.
Good time. Go ahead.
Sure. When President Trump came into office, the Iranians knew that President Trump wanted to get a deal. They observed the escalatory ladder very carefully. They stopped having our proxies attack us like they were attacking us under the Biden administration. And they got to the negotiating table with us about the nuclear agenda. When the 12-day war kicked off and the Israelis started that, the Iranians still didn't attack us.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to circle back on some of your comments here, and then I have some other questions.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, I need to tucker it up.
Yeah, okay. All right. Tucker away. Is this the Economist interview?
Yes, sir.
This is so good, mate.
We are.
So just before you start, this, right? You should be aware the Economist is literally owned by the Rothschilds, right? Like no joke. It is the Rothschild media outlet, right? And they urgently needed to speak to Tucker Carlson for some reason, right? And they released this 12-minute interview, right? Now there's no way they only talked to Tucker for 12, 15 minutes.
Yeah, this is 3 days ago, and people in the comments are saying to release the full interview as well.
Never going to happen. Never going to happen. And if this was the stuff they kept in, can you imagine what he was saying that they didn't keep? Go on, mate.
In your copious podcasting about this in the last 2 weeks, you have made the argument very strongly that the United States has been pushed into something not in its own national interest by pressure from Israel and the lobbying power of Israel.
Well, it has been. The question is whether the person who makes the ultimate decision, who would be President Trump, should have pushed back. That's it. Of course, Trump should have pushed back.
As previous presidents have done.
To some extent, some very limited extent. George W. Bush didn't push back. We went up in the Iraq War, and now everyone pretends, had nothing to do with Israel. I was there. I was talking to Bush. That's not true. That's a lie. And that's why it's so important, from my perspective, to say out loud what is true before history is rewritten and disappears. And it's lying that gets us here. Because we say, no. Lobbying efforts had no effect. Really? We say that about our pharmaceutical policy? No. Everybody understands that every policy...
Now, this is very important. You really cannot call out the lobbying from Israel, okay? Which is why I'm going to show the Vrillium video after this to go into detail how there is a pipeline from 12 years old to your adulthood.
The thing that Tucker is mentioning there is very, very dangerous, right? The very, very, very well documented fact that the US went to war in Iraq principally for Israel, right? Because that would then, because many Americans...
No, it was for oil, wasn't it?
Yeah. Do you know who got that oil?
Who?
The Israelis. I'm not even joking.
Really?
It all went to the Israelis. All that oil, all those oil wells, Israel got them.
Huh.
Yeah.
I wasn't told
how that works. Yeah.
A large government makes, including ours, is influenced by various stakeholders who were affected by that policy. But this is the one area we have to be like, no, it had nothing to do with the fact that his biggest donors were pushing him to do this, or the BB visited 7 times in 1 year. Are you joking? I'm not going to play along with the lies anymore. I don't hate Jews. I don't hate Israel. I love my country.
Whoa!
This has happened yet again. I can.
It said watch the full interview at the top. Did you see that?
Watch the full interview. Well, you got to pay for it, I think. But
is that what it is? Okay.
No, right. But someone surely would have gotten behind the paywall and leaked the whole thing, and I haven't fucking seen it out there, so I don't know.
Interesting. So I think that's what this is. It's a teaser for it, maybe.
I guess.
I'll give you a whole list of previous times where it's happened, and I think we need to know what happened so we don't hurt ourselves further.
I am not saying don't blame Israel. I think Israel has its own national interests, and Israel was certainly pushing for things. But I think there is more agency and therefore more responsibility with the President of the United States and the Trump administration.
Disagree. He represents me. I live here.
But that's important because in the way you
Israel
described
pushed him into this. Now, he shouldn't have gone along with it. He should have pushed back. But to pretend that Trump woke up one morning is like,
I'm not suggesting that, to be clear.
Israel pushed him. The prime minister, and by the way, it's not Israel. There are a lot of people who disagree in Israel. I know some of them. It was the prime minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, who pushed our president into doing this. And I hope this is the last time that Netanyahu or any foreign head of state will ever push an American president to do something that hurts America.
Well, let's talk about that, because I think we may be, as you yourself said earlier, at a tipping point in terms of the rapid decline within the United States for support for Israel. And you see it huge. I mean, you've seen it for several years on the Democratic side. You're now seeing it on the conservative side, and you're seeing a collapse amongst younger people. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. How quickly is that going to change the politics of Israel in the United States?
I mean, it's hard to know. There doesn't seem to be a direct connection.
The politics of Israel in the United States.
Yeah. Which of course is the crucial question. It's the only question they care about, right? They don't give a fuck about the American working class, right? They don't give a fuck about gas prices. They don't give a fuck if a bunch of Americans, other whites, get sent to fucking, desert land and get their like limbs blown off. They don't give a shit. And that's what fucking annoys me. I know that's what annoys Tucker as well.
Right.
Like, no, these are people. Remember Gulf War syndrome? Remember all the people fucking like injured in the Gulf War from like Gulf War syndrome, right? And not to mention, I reckon a big reason why like all of these soldiers get PTSD is because they're being sent over across the other side of the world to just like shoot people they've got like no connection with. If someone invaded America and all of these soldiers were like in a war to like save their country, I don't think like hardly any of them would have PTSD, right? Because no matter what happened, like, well, we did it for a good cause. It's another thing entirely to have your limbs blown off and then be like, why the hell did I even do that for? I think that's what, you know.
Well, I mean, do non-Western countries consider their soldiers to have PTSD? Is it, a lot of this Western psychology, right, has to come up with terms that the moos have instituted on us. A lot of these PTSD, fucking autism, depression, anxiety, a lot of these things.
No. Look, PTSD is like a thing, right?
Sure.
Like, you know, that you get from like, you know, going through traumatic experiences. But it's the kind of like just massive ennui that you see from like soldiers in wars of choice, I think is just very, very different, right? It's not like, you know, oh, you know, I lost an arm, but like I saved my family. Oh, I lost an arm, but like, you know, because I lost an arm, you know, we still have a country. You went halfway across the world to like blow up like sand people so that Israel could get more oil. Well, like what the fuck, dude?
Well,
like,
right, but then what are you also coming home to? A 10% discount at Denny's. There's not,
exactly.
Like, there's not honor in Venezuela. So I was more so focusing on that, like the conditions that are created.
Freedom fries and mooish lies.
Yeah.
Not just
good
on
name
Israel,
for a song.
See, but on almost any issue between what our leaders believe and do and what the public thinks and wants, the public begins to believe in their frustration at their declining standard of living, for example, or declining birth rates, or whatever it is that's getting worse, and a lot is, that there's no way to use legitimate means to change it. Voting doesn't work. If they believe that, then they will, by definition, find other ways, and those ways are destructive, and I don't want that. So I think it's very important that a government, even a non-democracy, even a monarchy, respond to the concerns of the population. You can ignore them for a while. If you ignore them for too long, you get overthrown.
Let's talk, though, a little bit more about how this declining support for Israel, which I think is one of the most significant political shifts in the United States in recent years.
On one hand, isn't she like, hey, you're kind of like obsessed with Israel, okay? And then isn't like all of her like talking points about Israel, about the politics of Israel in the United States, about the declining support for Israel?
Yeah, that's that situationality thing, right? Whereas if you talk about it, you're obsessed, right? But if, you know, that's like your entire job and you like the total like focus and you're like working for them, then that's like perfectly like heckin' wholesome and chungus.
Yeah, we can talk about it through her lens of questioning, not through your freedom of consciousness.
How is that shaping the MAGA movement? I mean, are you now seeing, I mean, when I look at the opinion polls, I'm told that there's 100% support amongst MAGA or 95% support for the war. On the other hand, you're clearly a man with a large number of followers who is making a very, very different argument.
I was standing next to Trump at his house when he got elected. I've known him a long time. I talked to him a lot. So, you know, I don't fully understand what MAGA is, but I know that the core promise of the Trump political movement, Make America Great Again, was America First. And it was articulated by him repeatedly at every campaign stop for 10 years. So everyone in America knows this. I think everyone globally knows this. The core of this movement was the idea that you would, and we could debate about how you do it, but you would try to put the interest of your country at the center of every calculation about how you manage your country and how you interact with the world. It's the single most obvious and single most popular political concept ever devised.
Do you think Donald Trump has betrayed America First?
I think that this war is something that he promised he wouldn't do, not once, but countless times. And until YouTube is banned, we'll be able to prove that.
Oh, shots fired. I didn't hear him say that the first playthrough I heard of this.
He answered that question like very skillfully. Like, man, he's so hard to trip up because he's worked in the industry his entire life, right? Like, you know.
I know, but he wouldn't say yes. But he said the truth instead of, he answers a yes or no question with the truth.
Mm-hmm. And the idea behind it is not only contrary to America First, it may be its inverse. There's no argument that changing the regime in Iran helps the United States. And if there is an argument, I'd love to hear it. And by the way, if that argument is sensible and convincing, I will support it. All I care about is the United States. But I haven't heard that argument a single time. All I've heard is the kind of tiresome fear-mongering about nuclear weapons, which Iran did not have. It's insulting, actually, even to make that argument to me, that Iran's nuclear program posed such a threat to the United States 3 weeks ago that we had to launch a full-scale war against them. No one's even arguing that because it's stupid and the facts don't support it. So why did we do this when we did it? Because Israel wanted to do it. They chose the timing here. No one disputes that. And timing in war, as in life, is a lot of it, and it determines outcome. And
so a lot of times, like when he says no one disputes that, I would really like him to say to her, do you dispute that?
Yeah.
I feel like the next step is to like really make it a point and kind of like throw the brakes on everything and go, do you dispute what I'm saying right now? And force her to go, I don't really know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but it's sort of masterful the way he does this. You know, no one disputes that. Like he's laying down like a commonly accepted fact, right?
Yes, but they almost get away with it because when they're wrong, they're silent, right? But then if you're wrong, it gets made into a fucking spectacle. And it's very asymmetrical.
She is not doing well in this interview, I got to say. Like,
do you think that they like having a cunty woman there intentionally to be extra antagonistic?
I mean, I guess I
Kathy
think,
Newman to Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, I was literally thinking of Kathy Newman as well. Maybe they figure that it's like the best chance they have of pissing them off and getting them to say something like stupid that they can then like
women can get away with way more.
Yeah.
They hadn't thought through what was going to happen next. The Israelis hadn't, and we hadn't, because we didn't have time to.
It sounds to me like you think he has betrayed it.
This war is clearly contrary to what he promised and contrary to the idea that your leaders should put your interests before those of foreigners, period. We put Israel's interests before ours. Trump did that. Bibi's wasn't elected president of my country. My president was. I supported him, obviously, voted for him. But yeah.
Let's talk about the way the debate develops in this country, because I think you're right. It's extremely difficult to talk about a subject that you and I have just spent the last half hour talking about because there is a conflation very often.
Right? So they just spent the last half an hour talking about this, right? And we're how far into this edited interview? How many minutes?
6.5 minutes.
So out of that half an hour, they kept 6 minutes. Man, I'd love to see the rest of it.
Here's what I love right here.
Debate develops in this country, because I think you're right. It's extremely difficult to talk about a subject that you and I have just spent the last half hour talking about because there is
Why is it difficult?
It's actually really complicated. No, it fucking isn't at all.
Dude, his candor is unmatched in these situations. It's very relaxed.
Hey, Vrilliam's in the chat.
Anybody who
I'm sorry, what?
Vrilliam is in the chat. Hey,
Bro!
Vrilliam. How you doing, man?
Your segment's coming up next, but I think you're going to be doing yo thang, baby.
who criticizes Israel is vulnerable.
I did put him in the thumbnail. Fair enough.
To being called anti-Zionist or anti-Semitic, and there's conflation by the exact people you've just been talking about, in the kind of firmament of political
discussion. Do you think that's a good faith response or a tactic?
I'm about to ask you that question. Clearly, I think you and I agree. We have both been critical of the Israeli government. I just want to kind of clarify terms a bit here.
Well, I've really been critical of the Israeli government.
I've been plenty critical of the Israeli government. I've told you at the beginning that we were against
this war. What do you think of Gaza?
What do I think of Gaza?
Yeah.
I think the war in Gaza, to start with, was a perfectly reasonable response in response to the horrors of October 7th. I think now the places, I've been there. Have you been to Gaza? I've been to Gaza since the war started.
They would not
it's
let
catastrophic.
Me into Gaza. Trust me, very few journalists get into Gaza.
Yeah, no.
She's been very critical of the Israeli government. This is what they mean, by the way, when they talk about, like, you're allowed to have like reasonable disagreement, right? Like, oh yes, what they did was like perfectly reasonable. They just took it a little bit too far, like blah 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 blah. Like, just like always coddling, always making excuses. Fuck's sake, man.
I went with the IDF. It's the only way that you can go in, but nonetheless you go in and you see a flattened place. I think it is a disaster for the future of Israel, a disaster for the Palestinian people, a horror, 70,000 people dead.
Why would you describe it first as a disaster for the future of Israel? You've got tens of thousands of civilians murdered, but it's foremost a disaster for the future?
No, I didn't say
it's
foremost.
foremost a disaster for the families of the dead kids.
Absolutely. I made 3 points.
Because everybody sucks up to Israel in this way that suggests they're afraid. And everyone is afraid, and you know that. Everyone's like, the real problem is calling people anti-Semites allows real anti-Semites to flourish. It's like, no, actually, the real problem with calling people anti-Semites who aren't is accusing the innocent of a crime they didn't commit. And the real crime in Gaza is killing people who did nothing wrong. So those are the real problems, I would say. But no one can say it because you have to go, oh, no, but really.
Man, I mean, like, the way he's like, oh, yeah, right? Like, everyone's afraid. You don't say that. You might break our spell of fear if you, like, point out that everyone's, like, afraid, right? Don't you know we're the good guys? Everyone is afraid of us for like the best possible reasons. and the way he's like, the problem with calling people antiseptic is that you're accusing like innocent people. Oh my God. That's very, very Christian of you, Tucker. I don't, they're not going to like that.
I don't know what you're talking about, guys. We're having
everyone watching this knows what I'm talking about.
Well, let's get on to that right now.
Yeah.
Because you are critical of the government of Israel. Do you believe in Israel's right to exist? Would you consider yourself a Zionist in that narrow definition?
What does that mean, a right to exist?
The existence of the political state.
I love this, right?
This is the best part.
I think the motivation here is that, do you ask that about any other country, right?
Yeah.
This is only asked about Israel and no other country.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seems kind of weird, doesn't it?
The way he fields this is masterful. Like, honestly. Dude, I can't believe they left this in, quite frankly.
Dude, this is the face that you see before the trunk closes, the confused Tucker face. It's over. Once he's reached this level of confusion, you're completely fucked. I've never seen anyone come back from the Tucker confused face.
Why would you want to be getting out of the trunk?
Dude, it's all over at that point.
Of Israel,
but it has a right. What does that mean?
That you think it should continue in its existence as a state right now. So you do not agree with Iran, for example.
Well, let me just ask, since you asked me the question, it's fair for me to get you to define the term so I can answer it. You've asked 2 questions. The first was, do you believe Israel has a right to exist? And the second question was, do you believe Israel should continue to go on as a nation state? And those are very different questions. So I often hear the
having
phrase,
been created as a political entity in 1948,
does it have a right to exist? Is that what you're asking?
I don't want to get hung up on the right.
No.
Should it continue to exist? That's how I define narrowly designed.
Because the phrase you used was devised by the Israeli government. Of course, does it have a right to exist? And so my question to you would be, what does that mean?
Why don't you answer my question? It's a very
simple question. What the question is? Are you asking, does it have a right to exist, or do I want it to exist? Do I seek its destruction?
Fine, answer it that way.
Well, of course I.
Why don't you just answer my question? Everyone knows like what that very vaguely defined phrase means. Why don't you just answer the question, mate? Like, fucking, dude. Who is it that grants this right?
I've already said, as you know, because I said it to you, I don't want Israel to be destroyed or have to use nuclear weapons.
We've established that you are in that narrow terms a Zionist. If that's
I'm in no sense a Zionist. I don't want any country to be destroyed at all, and I don't want people to die, particularly ones who committed no crime, because I don't believe in killing innocents, period. That's the basis of Western civilization. Eastern civilization is a whole different view. They believe in collective punishment. I don't.
So you're in no sense a Zionist?
I don't even know what that means. Why don't you define the term, and then I'll tell you whether I am.
I've just defined it.
What's
you said that a Zionist in my narrow term, this definition is that the state of Israel, the political...
Don't you love that? A Zionist in my narrow term. Always a qualifier, always a caveat, always a way out.
Yeah. And the way she tried to be like, so the fact that you don't want Israel to be destroyed means that you're a Zionist, right? Therefore, right? Like,
well, and then she essentially says, well, my definition right now is essentially what that means. My definition in this conversation is this.
It's like watching a baby trying to like box a pit bull. Like, it's just pathetic, right? The baby's just like,
but instead the pit bull looks unbelievably confused the entire time.
It's like a Doberman. Like a Doberman or something.
What's a Zionist?
That a Zionist in my narrow term, this definition is that the state of Israel, the political state of Israel, has the right to continue existing.
The right? Where does that right come from? What do you mean? These are like, I'm not being a lawyer about it. I just want to know what you're asking
to answer the question.
Because I don't know what you're asking me.
Let's go to the
Wait, no. I think a lot. You don't want to define your question, and I don't know why. I don't know what you're asking me. I've already said I don't want Israel to be destroyed. I don't want anyone to be killed. And you've said, does Israel have a right to exist? Does it have my question is, what right are you talking about? Does Britain have a right to exist? Does the United States have a right to exist?
There was a world order built up after 1945, which suggested that
there was a world order built up after 1945.
Yeah.
Were they saying this out loud 2 years ago?
That sounds a lot like the post-war
They
consensus,
can't put the
which
toothpaste back in the tube.
Yeah, I mean, I've been reliably informed by Lindsay that anyone talking about the post-war consensus is by definition woke right. So
they can't avoid it at this point. The Economist is even saying it, and they can be pretty lefty in their coverage of things.
I mean, but this is the thing, right? Like this whole right to, like, he nails it, right? Does the UK have a right to exist? Well, clearly not, it seems, right? Like if you think of a country as, right, like the nation state, and this is the thing, right? If she's talking about fucking post-1945, right, the UN, all of that was based on the nation state. And it was implied that the people in those nation states were homogenous, right? And that they had a right to representation. Entire wars were like fought over this, right? Entire countries were split apart on this principle. And now it's like, oh, don't you know, like actually, right? Like India and Pakistan were partitioned over this whole like shit. And now it's like, oh, actually anyone can be like English, right? It doesn't matter. You can just like step off the boat from fucking Guinea-Bissau with an IQ of like 55 and like, oh, God. Fuck. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, that's what I love. Like when the Constitution was written, did they know about Guinea-Bissau? You know, how much of the world did they know was uninhabitable at that point?
Scramble for Africa wasn't until 1800s. Chat, can someone fact check
when
me
the
on
Scramble for Africa first started? That scramble.
Yeah, it was a funny thing about the Scramble for Africa actually was that none of it was possible until the invention of quinine, because
the invention of what?
Quinine is an anti-malarial drug. It's what gives tonic water its tasty taste, right?
Okay.
Because until the invention and adoption of quinine, any whites that tried to go more than I don't know, I think it was like 100 kilometers in from the coast, they all died of malaria, like just like that, right? So if you look at like the original thing, they're like all on the coast and stuff. And then once like quinine got discovered, then they could push like into actual like Africa proper.
Yeah, then they thought to themselves, wow, look at all of this land. Think of all of the potential that we have here.
Yeah.
Wow, the great things we can do here.
1870 to 1880. Thank you.
Nice.
You very much, Eunice. Man, see, chat, we have the best chat, man. It's like the gentleman's LLM, our chat, right? you ask questions, and instead of getting some clanker throwing up some retarded like answer in like 5 paragraphs, chat delivers the goods in 1 line.
Nailed it, right? Not an ounce of fat on it.
aggression should not be condoned into countries. Now, the countries with borders have the right to continue.
I totally agree with that.
Okay.
If that's, which is why the first thing that Israel did within 2 weeks of this war starting, which is supposedly existential for them, was take southern Lebanon, take someone else's country, as they have done repeatedly. And no one even mentions that. And so I guess I would be opposed to that, because I think Lebanon has a right to exist. I thought Gaza had a right to exist. But I noticed that as soon as we started portioning rights, only one country gets them.
No, I did not say that. You're absolutely putting words in my mouth.
I believe, here's what I do believe, since you asked. I believe in universally applicable standards. And if they're not universally applicable, they're not standards, they're preferences. That's why.
No.
Why'd they cut it off there?
No.
Why'd they cut it off there? What happened?
Universally applicable standards. That is very, very antiseptic there, Tucker. Right? He is literally denying the entire existence of the chosen people with that kind of like language. I can't believe it.
That was ruthless. That was when it was just about to start getting good right there. I would love to hear what the response could possibly be.
Oh my God, I know, right?
Do some soupies.
Soupies? Okie dokie. Okay. I lost my place in the super chat. Why am I retarded tonight, mate? I don't know.
Mask
right?
on. Put your mask on.
Put
No
my
one
mask
heard
on.
that. No one heard that.
Okay. Double Mamba for $5. Thank you very much. Shout out to Larry Loomer trying to manifest a 9/11 for months. It's actually impressive how bad that guy is at journalism. Yeah, we're going to cover that actually. You know, it's going to be like 9/11 times a bajillion, 6 gorillion. Like,
Oh, is that wait? Do you want? Is that the segment you're doing next?
Yeah.
I was gonna go in. I was gonna go into Homeboy right now.
I've got. Oh wait, hang on. I've got the Luma thing somewhere here.
I was just gonna.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Okay.
Larry Luma, soon there will be a massive Islamic terror attack in America, and the perpetrators will likely have financial ties to podcasters and those who are sowing discord for foreign nations in America. I predict there will be many casualties, and only then will it maybe set in that people have been conned into supporting a terrorist psyop to distract you from the threat of Islam, while the enemy plotted to destroy our country from within with botted conspiracy theories. It will be 10 times worse than 9/11, and it's going to trace right back to the woke Reich in some way. I just have this sense. Gee, that's oddly
I just have this sense.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say she has a nose for it.
Yeah. Right. Deep Wang for $5. Thank you very much. Don't mind me just taking careful notes and monitoring everyone's social credit score. Minus a 2 social credit for that Soilenial rock intro. Well, there you go. Your social credit's been
pretty good.
That's pretty good. I think this guy might be some kind of Mongolian. Do we really know he's actually a Chinese? The new GM for $5. Thank you very much. Little Mark Levin is a blustering old Harden.
I love Yenta, Harden. Keep them coming, fellas. Make them up for all I care.
Doomsday Machine, member for 4 months. Enjoy.
Yes, he is.
Doomsday Machine again for $5. Nice. The Yiddish are coming. 1 if by river, 2 if by sea.
Moo if by sea.
Moo if by sea. Very nice. Testing for $2. I'm here. You're welcome. Oh, thank goodness me. I can't really bite.
I was scared. I wasn't gonna say anything, but I was getting nervous.
Theodore McCarthy for $10. Thank you very much, mate.
Caught me with my pants down.
PTSD is flinching when you see a box by the road because in your experience it looks like an IED. It's not regretting losing friends or limbs in a war you were lied into. Yes, that's a good point, Theodore. That sort of heightened startle reflex. I don't know. That does seem to be like the actual nervous condition behind it. I mean, I don't know whether what I was saying is garbage or not. But yeah, that's a very good point that he's making. There is a sort of like nervous and kind of body component to PTSD that is not sort of connected ideologically. So I may have been talking out of my ass in that one. Thank you for the super chat, mate. I appreciate it. What else have we got? Bill Clinton skin suit for $2, €2. Mr. Trump, they just hit the 20th tower. Oh God! Right, super chat's accomplished. Mate, we're running over time. My God.
What's up?
Get on with your next segment, mate.
Yes. So real quick, okay. Especially since Homeboy was here. Now I did. He makes the same case that I do. We have an unbelievable amount of overlap. Well, I do with Vrillium.
Latinos be white. It's time. Listen, I don't care what you have to say. I think it's time we let Latinos be white. I'm a white expansionist. We can't deny they've been putting in the work. Like, all the ICE agents are Hispanic. They're very Catholic. They're very racist. They've been putting in the work. I feel like we can make an exception here. Because if you really think about it, the whole like Latino identity doesn't really make a lot of sense. You can't equate like an Argentinian or like a Northern Mexican who looks like Isabella's son with the straight up like Incans that come from Guatemala and Ecuador and Venezuela. These are not the same people. And sure, they both speak Spanish and they share some things from their time as Spanish colonies. Like, they're just fundamentally different things. It's like saying, oh, Greeks and the Saudis are the same because they both like olive oil. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. So I think it's time. We need to start allowing at least some of them. There's clearly like enough European in there that we could justify it, just like how we justified the Italians. I mean, come on. Look at Michael Knowles. Like, come on, you really? That's Abdullah Azim right there. That's a fucking emirate of Sicily Arab right there. Okay, that's not a white man. And yet we consider him as such because there's enough European in there and he fits sort of a European identity enough that we go, okay, he's white. Same thing here. I say, fuck it. Let's at least some of them be white. We need the numbers right now, okay?
So the reason why I like Homeboy, okay? He is creative. He wants to cast an unbelievably large net, and he wants to criticize the moves, okay? We have overlap in incredibly specific ways, and he's essentially apolitical. When I watched this video, which I
by the way, I would like to say I do officially support the idea of white Latinos being accepted as white, right? The Spanish are white as hell, right? Like some of the most Catholic people in the world. Beautiful architecture, right? Not a Catholic, but like, man, I gotta give them respect, right? They still have a proper liturgy, all that kind of like stuff. You wouldn't, and so they're half Spanish. I mean, that's the Hispanic part of it. They came over to South America and they made sweet love to those frisky natives,
So okay, let me just address some things since Vrillium is and/or was here. So people are gonna say whatever used to be trans or whatever, okay? That there was like he was in a band and he dressed up silly for a band, okay? Even if I grant people saying he's trans, he's not, he's just gay, and I'll prove it. I'll prove it in this video. Which is fine. I support everything. I support the white expansionism. I support the moo critical. I support all of the core tenets of what he's saying, okay? I support him being gay. What?
He converted to orthodoxy, right? Man deserves a second chance. We've all done things that we regret.
Allegedly, he is. I'd want to hear it from him. But yeah, so give it like his insight on the moves is way better than Nick Fuentes's. Okay, Nick Fuentes is political. This guy's essentially apolitical. He's much more anthropological in the study of cultures and how they interact, which very much interests me. So here we go. Let's do. He went to summer camp with these idiots.
A lot of trouble. But from ages 12 to 15, yeah, I attended one of these summer camps. It was a completely secular camp. It's, again, illegal for them to say that I couldn't go on an ethnic basis. And if you pay the money, they'll let you go. It just so happened to be that I was like the one Gentile there. It was like me and the counselors were the only Gentiles there. Everyone else was Jewish, something that my parents did not know and I did not know until I got there, which 12-year-old me figured out very quickly. Wait a minute, why are all the men here named Zachary and Joshua, and why are all the women called Rebecca? And I am absolutely fucking sure that all the guys I went to summer camp with are going to see this video. Remember that photo I just showed you? Me, 14. God, look at that haircut. Oh, I wish I could still be that skinny. All of the guys in that photo blacked out.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Proof that he's a homosexual, okay? No straight man I've ever known has saw a picture of himself at 14 and gone, oh, I used to be so skinny. Ever in my life.
With are going to see this video. Remember that photo I just showed you? Me, 14.
Yeah, okay. We're still straight here.
God, look at that haircut.
Questionable. Yellow light. Okay. Could have been good haircut. Okay. Still straight-ish. Okay.
Oh, I wish I could still be that skinny.
Right there. That's gay. No straight man has ever looked at himself. Yeah, you're a small 14-year-old. Okay. So it's fine. Dude, it's fine. Roy Cohn. Okay. There's plenty of people. There's plenty of room in my coalition. Okay. I don't care about that. What I care about is, yeah.
So Vrilliam said in the chat he wants to like phone in and come on. I don't think we've got time tonight. But look, DM me on Twitter, man.
Hold on. Is he streaming tonight? I didn't see that.
Yeah, I don't know. You streaming tonight, Vrilliam? Look, DM me, follow me back on Twitter and drop me a DM, mate. Right? Like we'd love to have you on. It'd be fucking very interesting.
I can send everyone to him when we're gonna be.
Oh yeah.
That's why I want to know so I can send my audience to him. So.
Plus, I want to pick your brain about the Mishnah Torah, mate. Like I
just want to talk to you. I mean, yeah.
You know, I have
unbelievable crossover. I think that would be very successful.
Yeah. No, so he's about to go live. He's in studio. Listen, Vrillium, we'll send
when is he going live?
We'll send our fellas over to your chat.
Awesome.
Afterwards. Awesome.
All right.
Okay.
I support you being gay. I still agree with everything you're saying.
All of the guys in that photo, blacked out faces, all of them, I shit you not, all of them went on to become either lobbyists, settlers, institutional players, or straight up IDF soldiers. All of them. Like, I'm not kidding. And this is a common thread amongst all these summer camps. The only reason I didn't follow in their footsteps is because obviously I am a Gentile, I'm not Jewish. It was very quickly towards the end of summer camp that I began to realize there's a pipeline. I very explicitly remember being 15, summer camp nearing an end, and having people promote things like Hillel and birthright. It was sort of a de facto policy that birthright came after summer camp, that you would do summer camp, then you'd spend a summer sort of interning, trying to get ready for college. And once you were 18 to 22, you went on birthright. And this was the standard thing. The guys who I went to summer camp with all went on birthright as a group. And this is standard practice across the country. And mind you, I went to a secular camp. Like, I can only imagine what it was like for actual specifically Jewish camps. It's probably like way crazier. Like,
so yeah, when he says specifically Muish camps, like whenever I've said to you guys that there's like 9,000 Muish NGOs, those are just the ones that register as Muish. It's the same thing when I've said how much money we give to Israel, and then you always say to me, it's more than that. That's just what's like recorded. It's the same thing with like how many of these NGOs and like areas, vectors of society that there are. These are just the ones that are,
Listen, man, whites just need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, right? They only have themselves to blame, right? If they don't like have the organizational capacity, right? The summer camps and the pipelines and the, indoctrination and, the sort of like automatic placement in political structures, right? I don't see what people are complaining about, right? It was never your country to begin with, quite frankly, right? I have heard it from good authority, right? That really America was Muish from the beginning, right? And quite frankly, so was England, right? Like after, oh my God, how do I forget the date? Speaking of that, if you are interested in learning the history of the moves in England, right? After the Norman invasion, leading up to the expulsion, and then the readmission, like after Cromwell and the normalization, there you can find a six-part series on the history of the moves in England over on my channel. Check it out, Newsfist. You can actually find me on YouTube now. I'm still
Isn't that nice?
Just below that like weird Sri Lankan news channel, but I am there now, right?
But that guy's sweating.
I have arrived.
That guy's sweating, seeing you coming for him.
Yeah, well, Sada, they are sweating. They'll be like head bobbing. They went, who is this Newsfist person? Taking away my search optimization. Yeah. So.
But people will say like, oh, like Vrillium, he's like really blowing up, and it's like, well, think of like the experiences he's had with the Muish community and the research he's done, right? Like, yeah, have you like looked at his content? Yeah, it's like the right time for this content to be coming out too. I mean, we've had success with talking about this topic. It's every stream now, right? So I mean,
the history is fascinating. Like it's like you cannot in any way actually understand European history in its entirety without the history of the moves, right? This is why so much of it makes no goddamn sense. Because if you just erase the roles of the moves, right, and their role in like financing wars and monarchs, and the way they like affected the legal structures of these companies, of these countries, it just doesn't make any sense, right? Like, and it's just been removed wholesale from like average European history. They still know, right? That's why they're flipping off the Arch of Titus, right? Like that's why they're like, oh, we're going to get you back for the disputation in Paris. Remember when you burned all those Talmuds and made us like actually stand up in this town square and defend Judaism? It was a terrible time. They remember, right? That's why they fucking hate you. Right? You don't get to remember. Yeah.
Of alone time for.
Okay, so now he makes a really good point with so this happens so much and so often that this pairing, so to speak, is how Ethan Klein met his wife.
young Jewish travelers. It is incredibly common for Jewish people to have met their partner, who they will go on to marry on birthright, whether they be an Israeli citizen or two Americans who just happen to be on the same birthright group. Funny enough, this is the story of how one Ethan Klein met Gila Klein. You know, H3, remember them? Yeah. That's how they met. Gila Klein was the IDF soldier assigned to escort Ethan Klein's group. And this is a very common story. And so you may be asking, why is that? Did Sheldon Adelson have like a breeding kink? I don't know, but that's not the reason. The reason is to promote something called Aliyah. Aliyah, which literally means ascent, is the Hebrew word used for Jewish immigration into Israel. That's all it means. This is the first place where people can get out of this pipeline. Very common that you'll have an American Jew meet an Israeli Jew, and then the American Jew moves to Israel. Again, that's actually literally what Ethan Klein did. And they fund this. The Jewish Federations of North America, as well as these other organizations, they directly fund that. There are several programs, both within America and Israel, that will actually pay young Jews to do this. Like they'll get them a place to live, they'll get them a job, they'll give them money to start them off in this new life. But for those who don't find love, or maybe just choose not to get off at that point, the pipeline continues. The next stop on this pipeline is Hillel. Hillel is the first instance of this pipeline being part of your life. Now, I'm saying Hillel, not halal. Hillel is the largest Jewish student organization in the world, bar none. Basically, every college or university in
a international Muish student organization. So in this video, which I recommend that you watch, he goes through every step of this pipeline from summer camp all the way to, I think the next one is going to be like their internships are with like public officials as well.
Man,
handholded the entire time.
I love these videos, man. I really, really do. Right, like they're just so well explained. Like,
yeah, dude, pretty for a Fed. It's a really good video, right?
Oh yeah,
this is definitely the caliber of video a fucking Fed makes, right? It's incredible.
I think it's the gayness actually that like adds that extra flair. You know, clearly, right? Like, you know, look, gay Feds make all the best content, mate. Like, look at Fuentes, right?
Right.
America has a Hillel. I myself went to Montclair State University, a school with a less than 1% Jewish population. Like, Montclair State is not known for its Jewish community, and they had a Hillel. Now, like on their
like everywhere, these organizations are. So, on one hand, I know that like these NGOs are everywhere. Okay. And whatever I think about the Moos, it's always worse. It's always so much more. And after I watched this video, I'm like, oh God, it's at every, like, it's the NGO is like a POC at this point. POC just means not white. NGO just means not government. And that includes so many organizations that always have like a wishy-washy, like, record keeping of like what they do exactly. And then there's other ones that tell you exactly what they do, and then if you try to talk about it, they just go some sort of reformed Moodyism, repairing the world, Tikkun Olam, like explanation for it.
Well, yeah, I mean, how are you going to repair the world if you don't have like soldiers, right? Remember, if there's darkness anywhere in the world, right, the world has not been repaired. How do you remove the darkness? Well, you go into countries and you set up Muish courts, right? And then you like set up a Muish government and you like, you know, administer the hell out of it, right? And that's how you bring like light to the Gentiles, you know? And then once the Sanhedrin gets like reinstantiated, right, it'll all be ruled from Jerusalem and we'll have a perfect world. Or so I have been told. Press an X to doubt that. Shall we get on to the war?
I got one last thing, but Vrillium in chat says, I'm not a Fed. I just did some gay shit a decade ago, bro. Is that scandal hitting YouTube right now? I don't even know of any scandals, dude. I don't even care what you've done because, I mean, we were all brought up with goy slop, okay? And dumb gay goy stuff. And so we all realize that, you know, this embarrassing stuff. You're about to be attacked in Target right now. I don't actually think you're gay. I just thought that was a funny joke, okay?
Yeah, it's our bit. We do,
but it's okay that you are gay. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it.
The JFNA, the JIFNA, has a location in your city. Every single American city has an office, and they handle every.
Oh, actually, wait a minute. Yeah, let me wrap it up right now with this last bit right here.
Yeah, because we're running out of time.
Yep. So we can go a little bit over, 15 minutes over.
bit, like The Big Bang Theory and The Masked Singer, and would look.
So his political position, right? Because people are calling him white nationalist, they're calling him all sorts of things. So I want this to be, in general, this is how he is positioning himself to the world.
Down on them as lesser than me. I understand where that mindset comes from. I think we can all agree. And this is the problem. See, people have asked me, what is my political position? Who am I as an individual? And I, very simply put, I'm an American. I believe in the dream of America. I really do. See, I come from a WASP family. Granted, my family wasn't Protestant, but that's a whole other story. But a heritage American, you could call me. An American ethnic group that Jews have historically had really good relations with and want to be a part of, intermarry into constantly. Something which, by the way, I was offered.
Did we get a confirmation that he's Orthodox in chat?
I don't know. Look, we'll have him on. We can ask him.
Some of my first ex-girlfriends come from this group.
So anyway, so he pretty much is like non-political. He's just criticizing the Moos because that seems to be the source of a lot of these issues. We just want to have what the Moos have, right? So very, very similar position to ours. Instead of calling yourself a white nationalist, calling yourself this title, that title, really it comes down to having what being allowed to collectivize like how they collectivize as a heritage American. There.
Yeah, Vrillium confirms that he is Orthodox. I'm sure I saw like an Orthodox
dude. Of course he is. Of course he is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like I saw an icon in his background, man. Like,
what, bro? Another ortho, dude. The ortho bros are taking over. This is insane. I can't
ortho bros are the best bros, mate.
Really, just so you know, I'm still an atheist, but I have a massive ortho push in my community.
Ardy's also curious.
Well, no, I get people to be ortho curious. I'm the Ghislaine Maxwell, all right? That reels in the people that want to be ortho.
Okay, so I got my package on the war. Okay, I'm gonna have to like breeze through this one like relatively quickly. Okay, so a summary of all the shit that has been going on like in the last like few days. I've got no idea what the fuck is happening, right? I'm gonna say that like up front. Fog of war, right? Both sides are being like, we're going to negotiate. No, you're not. Screw you. Fuck you. Bomb this, bomb that, right? The Israelis are still like doing that thing of, relentlessly preventing any outbreak of peace, right? Like this is a common thing that you see among the Israelis now. As soon as there is any chance of like peace breaking out, they'll like bomb something and derail the negotiations or like, assassinate the people negotiating. My current theory on this actually is that they knew that the Khamenei government was basically like too moderate, right? And so they killed them all in the hope that a sort of much less moderate government would come into power so that they could like prosecute like a proper war, right? Now, the other thing that the Israelis are trying to do is draw other countries into the war. I mean, pretty much par for the course, right? So there's just been a lot of weird false flags going around recently, with the aim primarily of drawing the UK into the war. I don't know why they'd want the UK in the war, possibly because the UK still has a Security Council seat, right? I don't know like why they still have a Security Council seat, quite frankly. They still have nukes, technically. And so there was 2 missiles fired at Diego Garcia, the military base in the Indian Ocean. The thing is, there's no evidence that this even happened. Like, honestly, right? Like there's no evidence. Allegedly, these missiles were fired from Iran. It's like over 4,000 kilometers away, which is like way in excess of the range of Iran's missiles. Everyone's like, see, I told you, right? Iran was like a danger to Europe, because all the Europeans are just like, why the fuck? Like, what the fuck does this have to do with us, right? Like, you're blocking the Strait of Hormuz. Trump's like, we need all the Europeans to send their ships to the Strait of Hormuz, and all the Europeans are like, oh, we're not doing that. I say, chap, that looks like a bit of a sticky wicket. The thing is, of course, is that Europe is still involved in the war with Ukraine, right? And and just still bleeding money into that fucking like cocaine fueled cesspit of piss. You must give Zelensky more money for peace and Ukrainian spit. Fuck, so fucking sick of this shit, man. I swear to fucking God, right? So as soon as this happened, all the usual like fuckers came out and like, the Israelis like, oh, don't you know, right? Like, Iran could hit London, right? So they were basically doing that shit for like a few days, right? Oh, it's suddenly an existential like threat to Europe. One of the missiles apparently landed in the ocean. One got shot down by a ship. They won't tell us like which ship. It as far as I can tell, it is completely and utterly fake, right? At the same time, Netanyahu's coming out doing his usual thing. Oh, you must get into the war.
This regime that threatens the entire world has to be stopped. Israel and the United States are working together for the entire world, and it's time to see the leaders of the rest of the countries join up. I'm happy to say that I can see some of them beginning to move in that direction, but more is needed. President Trump's call to have the international community confront this terrorist fanatic regime of zealots, that is a call not only for the security of America and the security of Israel, it's for the security of the entire world.
Your interests, our interests are your interests. Gee, never heard that tactic before. Oh, for the safety of the entire fucking world. Fuck off, right? There's no credible satellite radar, video, or debris that has been released to show any missiles were fired at or near Diego Garcia. Only claims from unnamed US officials, first made by Reuters and then repeated. Iran denied it, but of course you cannot trust the Iranians. They say anything. The thing is, right, they've got satellite coverage everywhere. It's not like you can hide two intermediate range, like intercontinental ballistic missiles, right? You would be able to track those things over the ocean. Okay. So clearly it's bullshit and they would know. They have been trying to get Starmer into it, but in about like the only thing that he has ever done that I agree with, it's not many. He seems to he's not into it, right? Possibly because the UK is literally on the edge of collapse at this point. Like bond yields are now like 5.5% or something like that. Just insane, right? They're still doing all the net zero shit despite like all the gas shortages and shit, right? Like the crazy moo who's in charge of like the entire energy system in the UK is like, oh, we can't like start releasing gas from the North Sea. It won't make any difference. Everyone's like, what the fuck, right? Oh my God.
We couldn't even stop 150 kilometer per mile drone from getting through to hitting a sovereign base in Cyprus. That means we were unprepared. And
that drone that hit Cyprus was launched from fucking Israel. Everybody knows this, right? They're just like, oh my God, you couldn't even stop this drone from hitting this airbase in Cyprus. Oh, so sick of this, bros.
The fact that you immediately wanted to defend a destroyer meant you had failed to anticipate the need to defend Cyprus with a destroyer. But this smacks of a lack of warfighting mentality that reaches right across the government, which is what we address in this paper about warfighting readiness, where we are not at. And the chiefs of staff are saying, we need to be ready for war. So when are we going to be prepared, and prepared for what?
We are finalising the investment plan. That sits with the Strategic Defence Review.
It smacks of an enormous complacency.
But this smacks of the fact that for years there was underinvestment by the last government and the stripping out, following out of our armed forces.
Had 18 months
Copyright
to deal
Ben
with that.
Wallace, who was the
I'm
defence
not
secretary.
making a party political point.
Well, honestly,
I agree with Ben
40
Wallace.
years of underinvestment,
I agree with
18
Ben
months of
Wallace.
Labour government.
But take
We're
drones, for
picking-
example.
We're picking
The
up
whole-
the underinvestment of your government.
Now, Starmer usually doesn't get angry like this, right? So he clearly does not like being grilled in this way. So here he is basically saying, like, there's no reason to assume that Iran is targeting us at all. Of course, this is all very like, Ottoman court, like shadows behind shadows, right? But like, it doesn't look like any of this Israeli intelligence is having an actual impact on Starmer at all.
No missiles hit the Chagos Islands, as you know. There were two heading in that direction. And it's really important that we call out these reckless acts by Iran against British interests, British lives, against our allies in the Gulf region. And that is why we're standing with our allies. That's why my number one concern is protecting British interests and British lives. That's why we've got a defensive action going on in the region, and we will continue to do so. But these are reckless acts, and we need to do everything we can, and we will do everything we can to protect our interests and our lives.
Are we in range here?
I'm sorry?
Are we in range here for missiles?
Well, look, we carry out assessments all the time in order to keep us safe, and there's no assessment that we're being targeted in that way at all.
Right. So for a British politician, that's basically like, look, they're not. The Iranians aren't targeting us. You can fuck off, right?
Yeah.
So clearly, the answer from the Israelis is, well, the false flags will continue until you join the war. The problem is, I don't know whether like all their false flag operatives are like over in Israel doing the war, because this was a really, really retarded. Like, this is the most B grade false flag, right, I've ever seen in my fucking life. So this is these are Muish ambulances, right? Decommissioned Muish ambulances, right? They're about to be scrapped. There's like 4 of them. They're outside like a synagogue in Golders Green in London, right? And these obvious Islamists set them on fire. How do you know they're Islamists? Well, just look at them. Can't you tell? I mean, certainly, like, you know, who else would set fire to a Muish ambulance? How did we find out about this? Oh, just from like a New York Muish outlet that like had the video of this like literally 10 minutes after the police were called, right? Nothing suspicious about that, right? How do we know? Well, it turns out that a new Shiite terror group claimed responsibility for the attack, except it literally didn't exist up until like 3 weeks ago, right? They've done like attacks in like these minor sort of vandalisms, basically, in like Belgium and Holland and now here, right? Ashab al-Yamin, okay? So let's have a look at Al-Shab al-Yamin here, right? Now, they put out their messages in English, Arabic, not Farsi, right? Like, so fucking retarded. So if it's the Iranians, you would expect that it was in Farsi, right? And in Hebrew, of course, right? Their message in English is, the Masjid Hadath synagogue in London is one of the most important centers of Orthodox Judaism, and its deepest connection to Israel is through the Rabbi Abraham Isaac Mahahan Kook, the first chief rabbi of Israel and one of the most influential thinkers of religious Zionism. This was written by ChatGPT, right? Okay. This statement was written by fucking ChatGPT, who served at the synagogue before emigrating to the land of Israel. Dude, no Shiite terror group calls Palestine the land of Israel. Are you fucking kidding me? This is so sloppily done, okay? This historical bond continues to this day, and the synagogue has become one of the main bastions of support for Israel in Britain, so much so that in June 2024, Rishi Sunak, the former British Prime Minister, visited this site amidst the Gaza war to affirm, alongside his expression of solidarity with the Jewish community, his country's unwavering support for Israel. Now, if you believe, right, that a Shiite Muslim terror group wrote that to take responsibility, I have a fucking bridge to sell you. You should buy my shitcoin. Like, it's just
people would buy your shitcoin, just so you know. Be careful with that.
It's being called the stupidest false flag in history, right?
People people are saying that? Are people saying that?
People are saying that, right? It's so bad. Like, people are literally making memes about it. It's fucking hilarious, right? The ambulances were immediately replaced by the English taxpayer with new ones, and they raised £1.4 million, right? Now, some people are basically saying that the government just did this immediately just to get them off their back, right? So they couldn't run around and say like, well, you know, EV, like our poor 6 million ambulances, right? It's bullshit, right? The group also uses the Zionist Hebrew term for immigration, which is aliyah, which is not what the Muslims call it, right? Yeah, it's really, really bad. But this should give you an idea, right? Like basically this was all over the UK news for 2 days. 2 days. Like, all they were talking about the ambulo cost, essentially. Look at this hysteric bullshit.
This is how it happens. This is how 6 million Jews were sent to the gas chamber. I'm not exaggerating. It started like this. This is the canary in the coal mine, and they don't just start with the Jews and end with the Jews. It carries on. Now, you need to wake up. You need to stop shutting up. You need to be speaking out. You see it online. You see it in person. You see it on the street. You hear a colleague saying it, a friend saying it in the pub. You need to say, no, that's anti-Semitic. That's unacceptable. You're wrong. You need to arm yourselves with some facts so you can argue against the nonsense about Israeli genocide and all of that. You need to start speaking out, because if you're not speaking out, if you're not actually challenging it, I'm afraid staying silent is being part of the problem.
So you're saying silence is violence? This this sounds a lot like BLM for reasons that I can't quite.
All completely identical.
Yeah, yeah, it's exactly the same script.
Okay, don't say, oh, I think I'd be the sort of person who would have spoken out against Hitler in the 1930s. And if you're not doing it now, then yeah, you are one of the people that would have stayed silent as they put Jews on the trains. And I'm sorry, that is the territory we are in. The people who are behind this growth, this conspiracy theories, this anti-Semitism, they want to kill everybody, not just in Israel, but all Jews around the world. And also their main aim, long term, is actually wiping out our democratic liberal values. We need to be alert to this. This stuff doesn't just happen overnight.
Democratic liberal values. 007 was saying, is Julia Hartley Brewer, is she Mooish? Fuck, mate. I didn't see that, man. She evaded my moodah.
It's creeping slowly. We are talking about the boiling frog scenario. The water is already getting pretty hot. Time for everyone to wake up and jump out of the pot. This is Talk, the home of comments. Me mum was an ambulance and me dad was a lampshade. And this has just been widely mocked, right? Zoomer Historian has been like absolutely killing it, right?
Oh yeah.
I was just trying to eat my breakfast and suddenly remembered those poor Mooish ambulances. I just burst into tears, unable to even eat anymore. I just felt sick. Think of what those poor ambulances had to go through. The sheer horror of it all. We need to invade Iran now. Otherwise, I don't think I'll ever quite feel whole again. We must have vengeance. Perfectly summarized. This is exactly what it is. Like, oh my God. And then, right, the other question, of course, is people are starting to be like, wait. Moose have their own ambulances? They have their own police? Wait. I thought we lived in like a society where there was no difference in race and ethnicity, right? Where everyone, like, you know, the NHS, everyone had like the same things, right? Like, you know, diversity is our strength and all this. Why do they have separate ambulances? And now people are starting to like look into places like Stamford Hill in London. Basically the same kind of like stuff that Nick Olivera was talking about. Tons of them on welfare, really large families.
Yep.
Imagine my shock. But remember, bros, first they came for the ambulances and I did not speak out, for I was not an ambulance.
Well, they expect you to care about it. Like, okay, so on one hand, it's a small population that's virtually insignificant, right? But then on the other hand, when something happens to a small population, it invades the airwaves.
When the 6 million ambulances were burnt to death, there were no traceable remains of the chassis, bodywork, or engines. But miraculously, the tires survived and are displayed as a solemn reminder of the greatest crime ever committed against vehicles.
Dude, they have made their bed and they are now laying in it.
I mean, look at this mockery. In the future, your children will read about the 6 million ambulances that were burned in the Great Fire of 2026. Like, it's just relentless, man. Like, no one is buying this bullshit. Like, it's insane. And then, right, people are like, even I was saying this, right? Like, so we, you know, when are we getting Christian ambulances, right? Like, you know, if the Moos get to have like their own ambulances, like, why can we have like a Christian police force, or like, you know,
you already have that, white supremacist.
This guy's like, I'm considering setting up a local ambulance service for my friends. Of course, it will be fully accessible for the whole community, but only my friends will be given the phone number. Oh, and I'll be needing grants from the council to fund it. Is that okay with everyone? And for some reason, like, he's a snazzy, right?
Wow. Right. And that's never rectified. It really is like MK Ultra.
It's such a self.
No one can. It's invisible, but in plain sight.
Yeah, it's insane. So in other war news, Russia's port of Primorsk on the Baltic, which is Russia's largest oil export terminal, got hit. So that's offline. It looks like there's basically like a controlled demolition of the global energy system underway at the moment, right? Like someone's got like someone's like betting like long on oil, or, you know, it's time for the Goyim to go on a diet or something. even if they wrap all this shit up like tomorrow, right, which is unlikely to happen, there are still going to be like effects on the global economy for, I don't know, years, right? So I've said this before, and I will say this again. If you're going to make any large purchases, right, you got to get a TV, you got to get a computer, anything like that, right, that like requires manufacturing inputs, buy it now. Prices are about to go up. If you need medicine, right, like if you like rely on certain medicines.
Buyer's market is what you're saying.
Yeah, lay in stocks now. Prices are going to go up. Availability is going to go down.
UVC right now. This deal will not last.
Yeah, this deal will not last, right? And once the normim, right, start figuring this out, there may be like weird, panic buying and sort of like COVID level bullshit. There may be energy lockdowns. I don't know, right? Like maybe, right, Trump will like pull it out of his ass, right? And, tomorrow the Strait of Hormuz will like open. But even if that happens, right, so much infrastructure has already been destroyed, right? There's that massive plant at Ras Laffan that's like a natural gas liquefaction thing that feeds like the feedstocks for all these like complex pharmaceutical processes, all the helium. It's going to affect chip manufacture, pharmaceuticals, everything. It's going to affect the entire global supply chain, right? So get it now before the normim figure this out, right? That's all I'm saying. Don't go fucking crazy, right? But it might be prudent. Oh, and then there's this refinery in Texas that like refines 20% of Texas's crude oil that all just, for no reason at all, suddenly exploded. Right? Perfectly normal thing to happen, right? Massive oil refineries like just explode all the time. So that's 20% of Texas's
classic
capacity, like gone like that. Okay. So people are starting to wonder if this is like, remember during COVID when all those like fires started happening at all the food processing plants, like one after another. This seems like coordinated. Now, obviously, they'll be like, oh, it might. I don't know. Honestly, I think my personal opinion could be wrong, but 2030 is only 4 years away, bro. And because all of those people were not, how do I put this delicately, lamp posted, they're just continuing to do what they're doing. So they need the digital ID, they need the digital currency, right? And the best way to get that is through rationing. It's because fairness, you see what I mean, right? We can't just let the economy go. We need to ration stuff so that like how much you're entitled to. There's going to have to be like some kind of ID system, So Trump once again has come out and basically said, everything's fine. I made an amazing deal. I don't believe a fucking word that comes out of this bastard's mouth anymore, right? Like seriously, right? Like he's just back and forth. Not saying that I believe necessarily what the Iranians are saying either. It's like fog of war shit. This is what I mean, right? I do not know. Okay. Maybe it'll resolve. Maybe it won't, right? Like make your own decisions on this.
Because they're going to make a deal. They did something yesterday that was amazing, actually. They gave us a present, and the present arrived today. It was a very big present worth a tremendous amount of money. And I'm not going to tell you what that present is, but it was a very significant prize. And they gave it to us, and they said they were going to give it. So that meant one thing to me: we're dealing with the right people. No, it wasn't nuclear related. It was oil and gas related. And it was a very nice thing they did. But what it showed me is that we're dealing with the right people. Because, you don't know, because the leadership was killed, all gone. Khomeini, all gone. As the expression goes, the past supreme leader. And then the new supreme leader was racked up pretty good.
Yeah, so Trump's like, they're going to make a deal. Apparently, Witkoff and Kushner are working on a deal, but this came from the Israelis. Okay, so fucking who knows, right? The Iranians have said many times they're not going to deal with Witkoff and Kushner. Jared Kushner, of course, is basically sort of Israel's representative at the White House. And Witkoff, as far as I can tell, is a complete fucking idiot, right? They were the ones who were like doing the abortive negotiations with Ukraine, and they're also the ones that were doing the supposed peace nuclear negotiations before like all the missile strikes happened, right?
Yeah.
The US is aiming at a month-long ceasefire Well, how the fuck's that going to work, right? The Iranians know they'll be back, right? It's like a, I don't know, Jehovah's Witness you turn away, right? And they're back the next week, and they're back, and they're back, and they're back, right? Then there's no, and supposedly the Americans want, they'll stop with the sanctions. They want the dismantling of the nuclear capabilities, removal of all their enriched uranium, decommissioning of their nuclear reactors, keep the Strait of Hormuz open, delay decision on the ballistic missile program. I don't believe any of this shit, quite frankly. And the Iranians apparently are saying, right, like their ask is that you got to hand Netanyahu over to the ICC. That's never fucking happening, right? They would sooner drop a nuke on New York than hand Netanyahu over to the International Criminal Court. You are kidding me, right? Yeah. Withdraw to October the 7th borders. That is never fucking happening. Cancel Trump's plan for Gaza. Also, that is not happening. Lift all sanctions and return frozen funds. That is not fucking happening. Recognize Iran's nuclear rights. Also, that is not happening. Withdraw from Lebanon, Syria, and Yemen. That is not fucking happening. Evacuate all U.S. bases from Arab lands. By the way,
yeah,
the U.S. abandoned Iraq, right? The after all of this time, the U.S., right, like a few days back, officially left Iraq because they were getting their absolute shit pushed in. Because the Shiite militias in Iraq are not very happy. Trump must issue a public apology to Khamenei. That's never happening. And compensate Iran for every sanction imposed on it. That is also never fucking happening, right? Never happening. Allegedly, Iraq has now announced that it is entering into the war against the US and Israel. I have no idea if this is true, right? I don't know if any of this shit is true. So I thought I would just end my little segment with some modern war propaganda. Now, I've always been a bit of a fan of war propaganda in the sort of academic sense, and the advent of generative AI in modern warfare is just, it's fucking weird, bros. It is very, very weird. Listen to this.
Where are you running, superpower? Who said I'm a superpower? Relax. I'm not even here for you. Leave me alone, please. Where are you going in such a hurry? I'm not going anywhere. I'm escaping. Didn't you say no one could ever hunt me down? Whoever said that was completely wrong. Relax, buddy. How am I supposed to relax? What are you running from? I'm literally running away from you. Hey, buddy. Relax. I promise this won't hurt. No! I know it hurts! You're trying to trick me!
I mean, what the fuck, bro? There's also like a whole channel on Instagram, right? And all they do is explain different kinds of missiles with these kinds of like cartoons. Very, very, mate, the future is fucking weird. Now,
yeah.
I have not seen any good propaganda from the US recently, right? Like, I don't want anyone to think that you're just like looking at Iranian propaganda. No. Like if I'll look at any war propaganda, right, that comes across my feed, right? Remember we did that thing from the White House where they did like the Wii Sports thing, which was like the most retarded thing like I've ever seen. This is what the Iranians are putting out. Check this out. This is pretty dope.
Yeah. Cross the ocean just to find your granted. Sacrifice your own boys for a lie. Listen. Yeah. Make America great again. Yo, Tails, is it crazy? Yeah. Make America great again now. We will see what happens yet. Defense, we protecting the soil while you sacrifice
real quick.
For your spoil.
That's why I have you call it MEGA. Continue.
Yeah, MEGA. Yeah, exactly.
Sitting on your throne, now we turning every base into a bed of stone. It's a slaughterhouse, a trap you couldn't see. Welcome to the graveyard of your vanity. The secrets are leaking. The pressure is rising. We locked on the target. And now you are hiding. LOSC. Yeah, we spelling at your name. Send them to the slaughter, you the only one to blame. Bleeding for a pucker while you shaking in your sweet LOSCR. Taste the ash of defeat, LOSCR. Yeah, we spelling out your name. Send them to the slaughter, you the only one to blame. Bleeding for a pucker while you shaking in your sweet LOSCR. Taste the ash of defeat. Swag's fighting in your suit, hiding Epstein's ghost. You sent your boys to die on the bloody coast. Not a revenge for the leader's blood is purely mine. Every drop of his blood is a missile on the line. You thought you took him out, thought the fire was dead, but another common is standing ahead. Yeah, you strike one down, we just shatter your brain. We put another in the lid, common again. The secrets are leaking, the pressure is rising. We locked on the target, and now you are hiding. LOSCR. Yeah, we spelling out your name. Send them to the slaughter, you the only one to blame. Bleeding for a puppet while you shaking in your sweet LOSCR. Taste the ash, LOSCR. Yeah, we spelling out your name. Send them to the slaughter, you the only one to blame. Bleeding for a puppet while you shaking in your sweet LOSCR. Taste the ash of defeat. Sacred defense of the homeland. Sacred defense of the homeland. Sacred defense.
I know we just went on.
The slaughterhouse is open. Common name cat.
So
Boom.
yeah, so no, a couple of people in the chat are like, America doesn't need propaganda because we're like, kicking their ass. Maybe I don't have any contacts in the military. Okay, so I have to rely essentially on Twitter until the situation sort of essentially stabilizes, right? And to my mind, the way that you judge outcomes in something like this is whether they can get the Strait of Hormuz open and whether they sort of start massively striking Iran's electricity grid. America's in a bit of a pickle because if they do that, then the Iranians will strike the desalination plants in Saudi Arabia and surrounding countries, and potentially millions of people will be like completely like fucked. So this is supposedly what drove the 5-day ceasefire. The Iranians are like, ha ha ha, America lost. I wouldn't be so hasty, honestly, right? Like, this is the United States of Israel we're fucking talking about. But yes, that's basically that's my package.
Ooh,
And a
baby.
few people were saying like, this is quite crafty because they're aiming at like, the brown Americans. I have it on authority from a 4chan post that I read that there are a lot of brownoids in the military.
You're kidding me.
Yeah. Apparently, particularly in the Navy, it creates some like real problems. So I don't know. As I said, I just like to study the propaganda. It is what it is. Final super chats, I guess. Hey. Okay.
Dynamite.
Supers. Leningrad for $5. The Anglo discovers the Spanish caste system and its consequences. Thanks very much, Lenny. Theodore McCarthy for $5. Whiteness in American culture is about assimilation. Average Latino family is one generation of intermarriage and acculturation from full assimilation. Yeah, some people in the chat did not like the take of accepting the Hispanics, bro. Yeah, here's what it is.
Yeah.
Deep Calm for $10. Thank you very much. I'm a mailman, and I've recently seen marketing material for discovering the Jewish Jesus website. The psyop for turning American Christians into Zionists is insane. Oh yeah, like a lot of money goes into that, like just like insane amounts of money and influence.
That's wild to see it from that vantage point.
Yeah, discovering the Jewish Jesus. Smiling Man for $5. Thank you very much. The road to El Dorado wasn't a psyop; it was a calling. Come home, white man. The Grey Slayer for $2. Fellas, YouTube, turn off my notifications for Ardy and Fist. Oh no, bros!
Wow,
we're getting too popular.
We're getting effective. We are getting popular because guess what? Vrillium is live right now, and he shouted us out a couple of times. Okay.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
He seems like he's looking forward to hopefully being able to hop on a stream with us. So it looks like we're friends, fellas. It looks like we have achieved political friend. And
Nice.
we could do some serious damage with him if he wants to collab, but it looks like he wants to collab. So things are looking very good, fellas.
Fuck yeah. Oh, man, that'd be good. That'd be really
Right?
good. Leningrad for $5. That group's bio put me to sleep and gave me amnesia. Can you redo the whole segment? But skip that part.
We're
Mate,
good.
for you,
We're
Leningrad.
professionals, bro. Okay?
Yeah, of course. Blue Lick for 2 Canadian loonies. Let me speak on behalf of Moose. 271K at best. I think he's talking about the income tax threshold, I believe.
Yeah, I know it's been adjusted. You know, this calendar year.
Still seems a little high. You know, you can live quite reasonably on 271K. You know, in a lot of like countries. You know.
Yeah.
Thank you. CSI for $2. Hashtag Fist was right.
Let's go, dude. Put
Don't know
another
about that.
eagle talon in the cauldron.
Solon the Lich for 100 arse, mate.
There he
That
is.
is a lot of arse. Thank you very much, mate. How dare you not have military assets in tip-top shape for our proxy operations? What do you mean you're paying for doctors and engineers we kvetching for? Oy vey, Moo's big man. Yeah, indeed. Like, how dare the UK not keep its proxy force in tip-top condition? What do they think the English military, I mean, such that it is pretty fucking dire shape. What do they think it's for? Slasher for 5 Canadian loonies. Thank you, mate. Stock up on food. Fertilizer disruptions will cause prices to spike up. Yeah, absolutely.
It affects
Absolutely.
everything, right? Yeah.
Yeah. People don't understand that oil and natural gas are like the basis for literally everything. Everything. Fertilizer.
Fellas, you want to
plastic.
get an unbelievable amount of white bread, okay? Very nutrient dense.
Chew the chickens for $2. Get ready for toilet paper shock. Yeah, probably. I think they already had one in Japan,
Bruh,
actually.
just get a bidet, bro, and then shake dry like a dog. That's what I do.
Clown Town Chronicle for $10. I'm late, so I'm going to restart the stream. Thank you very much.
That's why
Aaron.
you work with him, okay?
That is.
He's
that is-
self-sufficient. The man rolls up his own sleeves and restarts the stream himself.
If you haven't listened to my conspiracy pyramid episodes with Clown Town Chronicle, you can find them on my channel. It's a good time. It's like, you know, it's conspiracy slop. It won't make you angry. It's, you know, it's just us laughing at like really retarded like conspiracy theories. It's fun. And it looks like Aaron got in the last super chat of the stream. See, there you go, mate. He's a professional. And yeah, I think we're done. Done, mate.
I gotta shovel you off to Vrillium. Do your thing. I don't even have to tell you fellas to represent. You already represent, but extra represent. And he's really talking to the chat too. So he's hanging out, being interactive. Go over there and be the silly boys I know you can be.
Nice. Any last words?
Let's fucking go, fellas. What a good March it's been. So we're just gonna keep on doing what we're doing. Consistency twice a week. Maybe we should actually start advertising the stream and let everyone know that it's Tuesdays and Fridays. So I might be working on some marketing collateral in the background to actually start pushing the stream, because we're on 50 now. Okay, I think we're going to be doing it pretty consistently. You know, so
You didn't even talk about that. It was the 50th episode. I can't fucking believe it, man. Like, dude,
that's what happens when you do 2 a week.
50 episodes. Woo! That's like 6 months, right?
Well, no, because it's 2 a week.
2 a week, yeah.
Oh
That's
yeah. Well, no,
25
we
weeks.
didn't. But we didn't start doing 2 a week until a little
Oh,
bit
that's
into it.
true. Yeah, that's true. All right. Thank you so much for everyone super chatting. We'll see you over on Vrillium stream. We have the best fellas. We'll see you on Friday, and the newest episode of the Conspiracy Pyramid will be out on Thursday. Thanks for coming, everyone. See you later.
Let's go, fella.
Ardy and Fish.